ready to go.
I'm ready to go too, and we just got here. Yo, 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 yo. We're in the house. It's AJ, the spread coverer, and Dr. Drew. Bro, that's what we should call you, Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew.
I like that.
Dr.
I do too.
Drew.
Let's do it.
You know what? I don't have any Dr. Dre on here. I would do some Dr. Dre behind Dr. Drew. Man, we got an insane. Is this Dr. Dre? No, that's not Dr. Dre.
That's Jackson 5 right there.
That's not the Jackson 5 knucklehead.
No.
That's a Jersey band. You don't know who that? Do we have to do this again? You don't know who this is?
It's really not.
That is a Jersey band. That's Naughty by Nature. You probably weren't even born.
2003 kid right here.
2003. Oh my goodness. Hey, before we get into this, because we got Josh Schmidt coming up first, and I can't wait to talk to him because I want to know. You know, we talked Chiefs and we talked Eagles the other night, and we all know I hate the Eagles with a passion.
Yeah.
But I think I feel bad for Bills Mafia and Bills fans because we always get so close, and they're not a team I dislike. I either like teams or hate them, and I hate most teams. But the Bills, I can root for them.
I don't know what's worse, like just sucking all the time, or
Like every team you go for, like the
like all my
Dolphins and the
teams, all my
Cincinnati
teams,
Reds,
all my
and
teams.
yeah, okay.
or like being close all the time and just not getting there.
I
don't know
would,
what's worse.
yeah, I would rather not make a postseason than be, but you got to think.
I
like,
disagree.
There's excitement, but we'll ask Josh. There's excitement when you get to the postseason, but only one team goes out a winner. When you get to that postseason, everybody else goes out a loser.
Right.
So it depends on how you look at it. I wanted to, let's get Josh in here now because he's here. So let me get this all set up, and we'll get back to the basketball brawl in a little bit later on. Let me just set the scene here. Our underdog picks of the day, because I knew that we were going to be really tight at the top of the show tonight. They dropped on Twitter a few minutes ago, and I got a big one for you. It's I think it's like plus 2,800. So Josh, and let me make sure I get this right. We bring Josh on. Josh is, and let's welcome him. Josh, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Good, guys. How are you?
Hey, Josh.
Fantastic. And Josh, you're the sports anchor at WGR-Buffalo. This is what I got from Chris, talk show host, and that's the flagship radio station of the Bills, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. WGR Sports Radio 550. I'm the morning show producer for Jeremy and Joe in the morning.
Okay.
Fill in sometimes on the Extra Point show from 10 to 12 as fill-in host on there. So talking Bills, talking Sabres, everything sports. But it's been rough these past few days. It's it's a tough week.
All right, let me. So let's get a little background, if we can. To start, are you from Buffalo? First of all.
Yep, born and raised. Been for a little context, I was born 2 months after the '99 no goal for the Sabres and Stars in the Stanley Cup Final. So I was kind of born into the whole, letdown sort of thing with Buffalo sports. So
Look, there was a whole there were multiple generations that went through that with the Red Sox. And now look, the Red Sox have more World Series victories in the last 20 years than anybody else. Right?
yeah,
Don't
hopefully
they?
Buffalo can get there someday.
Yeah, and you didn't get to experience Thurman Thomas, right?
Thurman Thomas.
Yeah,
Mhm.
couldn't find
Yeah.
his helmet before the game. Do you remember that?
I
He
do.
lost his
I do.
helmet again. Was that against Dallas?
I don't remember who it was against, but
Or-
it still plays today.
Yeah,
They
that
play
was
that clip.
that was man. So how is first? Let me ask this: how is Bills Mafia doing? Because that had to be a heartbreaker, and I got to tell you that last play where Josh Allen looked like he was just throwing it away, and
Yeah.
then it bounced off of Kincaid, right?
Yep.
Bounced off Kincaid's. That ball should have been caught, and that would have been. That was a catchable ball. When you get paid that much money, I think that you should catch that ball.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's a history-changing play.
It's been tough. I mean, because part of the job I have at GR is answering the phone. So I'm talking to people firsthand as when they're calling in wanting to talk about things, and we're all just kind of in this same like the letdown was there, and there's some animosity towards the missed calls or whatever you want to call them with the fourth down and the third down before that. There's like all sorts of stuff towards that. There's frustration with why can't we just get past the Chiefs? Like, what's going on? Like, there's all that stuff. Like, it's a whole mix of emotions, but it's just that general feeling of like, oh man, another letdown. Like, here we are again. Like, what are we going to do now? And you're right with the Kincaid play specifically. I remember, I mean, that play for me, I'm watching at home. It's in slow motion. My hands are on my head. I'm thinking, this is Josh Allen. He's going to make the greatest play of all time because he is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL. So like, I'm thinking, yeah, there's someone down there. He sees him through three guys rushing him, and he's going to hit him for a pass, and we're going to be great. It's going to go. We're going to be good. But and then unfortunately, Kincaid overruns the pass a little. I mean, I think personally, from looking at it, it almost seems like that's the route he's running, anticipating Allen to be able to hit him on the sideline. But Allen's got to get rid of that ball. Like it's not where he wanted it to be, in my opinion. And Kincaid tries to make that adjustment, can't do it, which
He was
again
all turned
is frustration.
around.
But he still put the ball in the only place that his guy could get it. I mean,
Oh,
that's
for sure.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the impressive part from Allen. But then like I said with Kincaid, it's tough because coming out of the draft last year, he was considered quote unquote the best hands in the draft, and we've seen big drops from him all season this year specifically. So it could be a bit of a sophomore slump. I'm hoping that it is. I think that it is, but I'm not really out on Kincaid yet at all. I think he can still come back and build that chemistry with Allen and come back strong next year. But it was just a tough season for him this year, and to have it end like that too was just it was tough to see. So, but you know what? We're Buffalo. We're in about a month or two. We'll be optimistic. We'll be back on the horse and thinking we're going to the Super Bowl again next year. So, with Josh Allen though, everything's possible. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I was thinking about this today, and you look a little bit younger than I am. But you said when you say it, you were born in what'd you say 90?
99. So I'm about
99.
26 right now. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So there was a time in the 90s, in the early 90s, that the Knicks could have won a couple NBA championships. And the Pistons should have won a couple of more NBA championships, but they had one problem: Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, but Patrick Mahomes is Michael Jordan. He's the Michael Jordan. You can't even see, like, Wayne Gretzky's the great one, and they won a bunch in Edmonton early, but he's got all the he was great, but there was only one Jordan. I mean, it's like Jordan, and then whoever the next best guy, it's Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, whoever you want to say it is, in whatever sport. You can say Tom Brady. Yeah, he's got 9 Super Bowls or 8 Super Bowls.
Eight
Eight Super Bowls. The problem for everybody in the AFC, I think, is Kansas City, and until they get beat, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the next 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest thing that we've thought about this week is how are we going to get past this guy? I mean, we had the discussion today, me and my co-host on our show, and it's like if the Bills were in the NFC, how many Super Bowls would they have been to in the Allen era? I mean, I think you could almost say all of them. I mean, looking at the competition in the NFC,
Yep.
with how the Bills are built, obviously there's the 49ers for a few years, but they're hurt. Purdy's, what is he? I mean, you have the Rams, sure, which that'd be a formidable opponent. And then like I look at like that other conference and it's it like pales in comparison to what we're seeing in the AFC. But the one thing that's really sparking my hope early on here is the AFC West is getting a lot better very quickly. The Chargers were a lot better this year. Jim Harbaugh is starting to work his magic there. The
Absolutely.
Broncos were very good in my opinion. I mean, maybe it's a year too early, but if they can work their offseason correctly, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So and even too, you look at the Chiefs' schedule, they probably should have lost like 6 more games. There was, Isaiah Likely's foot is too big in the end zone in the first game of the year. The Chiefs get a lucky doink into the field goal. They block a field goal against the Broncos. Like there's so many of these instances where you're like, oh yeah, look, they got lucky again. It's not going to happen every season. It's not going to happen every year. So I think as long as the AFC West gets good enough to start beating the Chiefs, it's going to kind of level the playing field a bit because then you have the opportunity. Hey, the Bills could get the 1 seed. Hey, they can, just maybe catch the Chiefs in an off year or maybe not even have to play them. That's the other thing too. It could get to the point where you could get a good enough team to come in here and let's say the Chiefs get the 2 seed next year and they have to go through the wild card and the divisional round, which is something they haven't had to do. Except, last
They did
year.
it once, yeah, right?
Yeah. But regardless, like you could catch them in that sort of off year where a team can kind of knock them off in the divisional round and then you don't even have to deal with them. But then it's, you just got to make sure you stay on it for everybody else. But,
But didn't you
it's,
did you look at them last year? Let's take this season and last season. Didn't
Mhm.
you look at them at all different points of the year and think, yeah, they're not going. They're not. They're just last year they had no receivers. Nobody could catch the ball last year, but yet they win the Super Bowl. And this year they look like they just sort of ho hum.
yeah, I think that was kind of the most frustrating part from our perspective was like, the Bills were I obviously the Broncos beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but I look at it as the Bills were the only team to really beat the Chiefs in the regular season. And we're looking around like, guys, why is nobody else beating them? Come on. Like we did our job. Why is nobody else helping us out here? So it's kind of frustrating to see that sort of the way they're built can just keep working. And obviously Mahomes is an incredible talent. I don't want to discredit him at all here, but Andy Reid, I think, is the true X factor on that team. He makes such great game plan adjustments. I mean, and Steve Spagnuolo too, their defensive coordinator. I mean, the both of them are just. I don't know if there's been anyone ever like them in terms of making those kinds of adjustments the way they do. I mean, there was the last play in the Bills Chiefs game this year, that 4th down play. One of their offensive linemen, Osiris Torrance, talked about this at locker cleanout. The way the Chiefs blitzed on that is not like anything they had seen in film. Every time the Chiefs would line up where they have, let's say in this instance, they had the right side loaded, usually the blitz was coming from the left. This time they loaded the right side. It came from the right side. That was kind of why that blitz worked so well, was no one on the offensive line knew it was coming. So I think if you look at last season, you look at this season, the players they have and the players they don't have, that's the real X factor for me is Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are so good at making do with what they have that it doesn't matter as long as they have Mahomes and like 1 or 2 other guys like Chris Jones and even Travis Kelce at this point. Like as long as they have guys like that, they're going to be fine because they're going to make it work with, not nobodies, but it's guys that you wouldn't expect to be doing the things they're doing.
We spoke to Nick Lowry on Monday night on the show. Nick Lowry predates you, but he's helped me here. He's the most accurate
When
kicker.
he retired, he was the most accurate place kicker in NFL history, and then
He's-
he had the most points in NFL history when he retired.
Yeah, he's a 7-time Pro Bowler, Chiefs Hall of Fame. Yeah, but we asked him, what's the key? And he says it's Andy Reid. He says it's Patrick Mahomes, yes, but it's Andy Reid and Spagnuolo and these two guys together. And every year they sort of do what the Patriots were doing. They find the right guys who buy into the system, and then they kind of just can flip a switch
Exactly.
when they need to. And I imagine it's got to be incredibly friggin' aggravating when you have to go up against them every year and you know that they're in the way.
Yeah, I think the more aggravating thing is the fact that every season the Bills can beat them in the regular season and then it just flips in the playoffs. Like, that's something to me that's kind of the most frustrating. And I don't think it's going to be like that forever, but like, you look at the records in the last, I think it's 6 seasons, they've played 11 times and the record is 6-5. Obviously, the 5 Bills wins are all in the regular season. So it's pretty frustrating when it gets to that point and you're just kind of like, okay, we can do it here. Why can't we do it 2 months later? Like, it's hard not to get frustrated, but at the same time, I'm on Twitter at Captain Optimism, so I'm always trying to be optimistic about whatever's going on. So I do think eventually it'll change and somehow they'll unlock something to beat them. But I think, like I said before, until Andy Reid is not there, I don't know how they're going to beat them. I don't think they've unlocked that part of it yet. I think they're still got to, get to that point in the, I guess, evolution of this team, because we've seen them try to outgun them. We've seen them try to out playmake them. And now this year we saw them try to control the game, basically. I mean, that was what the Bills did all season. That's what the Chiefs did all season. The Bills had their everybody eats mantra all season long, and it worked great. And it even worked in this Chiefs game to a certain extent. But you could even look at the Chiefs as a team that has that everybody eats mantra. They had basically no one on offense. They had Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown for part of the season. Like, it was kind of just a bunch of guys getting it all together. And that was basically what the Bills were doing all year too, just I think in a better way. So I think eventually you're going to see the Bills, evolve into something different and try to beat the Chiefs a different way. If there is a different way out there, I don't know yet, but
No
I guess we'll
officials in the
see.
game.
No officials
No
in the game?
officials
Is
in
that
the
what you say? Yeah,
game.
no
Feels
officials.
That would be one way to start.
Forgive me for not knowing this off the top of my head, but have the Bills ever won a Super Bowl?
They have not. They've been to 4 and they lost all 4. 4 in a row too.
Yeah,
So
and
And
they lost.
They went
They
to
lost
4 in a
5.
row-
It
4 in a
was 4 in a
row.
row. Yes, it was 4 in a row. That's right.
when
Because
they had the acronym for the Bills. I don't want to say it, Josh. I don't want to give it to you.
no, but yesterday, I believe it was yesterday. It shows up in my Facebook memories or somewhere. I got this thing where it said whatever it was, 1991. However many years ago, 24, 34 years ago. Time flies when you're having as much fun as we're
34,
having.
yeah.
34. But I remember watching that because I was in Germany at the time and we were on the Army base, and it was the missed field goal.
Yep, wide right.
Yeah,
Yep.
wide right, and that was the first of the 4. Yeah, and then
That
it was
was-
the Redskins, and I think it was Dallas twice on that stretch.
Such a talented team, though.
They were real good. Jim Kelly was incredible. Thurman was incredible. Yeah.
I mean, that was a team.
Yeah.
Those
Ye-
teams they predate me, but I mean, my parents have told me stories about them. Everyone I know has told me stories about them. Like, those guys are living legends of Buffalo, and rightfully so, because
Should
those
be.
teams were amazing. They should have won one. I still can't believe they didn't win a single one. But like I said, there's always time to right the wrong, I guess, and come back. But we're still waiting on that.
So who do you... I know, we got it, Steven. We got it. Nobody can hear you when you're not on the air, remember? So you just got to spit it out quickly. But yeah, I got it. I just said that. Giants, Washington, then Dallas. I appreciate you looking it up, though. On paper, Philly looks like they should win this game. But can you bet against Patrick Mahomes? I can't. I'm going to bet on because last year the 49ers looked like they were going to, on paper, leading up to it, they looked like this was not going to, they were just going to destroy him. And after that Super Bowl, I said, I will never get a bet against Patrick Mahomes again until he gives me a reason not to. I think they'll find a way. What do you think?
I think the one main difference this year is Saquon Barkley. I mean, Barkley has been incredible all season long, and he's found another gear in the playoffs, in my opinion. And I think he's going to make a big difference. Also, that defensive line for Philly is something to be worried about if you're Patrick Mahomes. I know it's tough. It is tough to bet against him, but I really think Philly's going to pull it off this time, especially, it all that internal strife that seems to have been going on there, whatever's going on between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Like, I feel like the way those guys, the competitors those guys are, I think they're going to be able to put that aside all for one game and go out there and say, you know what, hey, we don't want these guys to get a three-peat. We want to, I mean, say it's Saquon Barkley's first Super Bowl. Like, it's a bunch of guys' first Super Bowls. I saw a graphic today. It's like DeAndre Hopkins, Saquon Barkley, Hollywood Brown, like all these guys are going to their first Super Bowl. Even Kareem Hunt, which kind of surprised me because he's been on the Chiefs for a while now. But I look at the way the Eagles play the game, and I mean, the Bills almost beat the Chiefs. I think that was proven that they can be beaten. So I'm going to go with Philly, not confidently, but I'm going to go with Philly.
I think this is my theory, Josh, is that, and look, I think Saquon, every time I see him on TV and being interviewed, dude's got the eye of the tiger right now. I mean, he looks more determined than I think anyone I've ever seen.
His birthday's on Super Bowl Sunday, too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man. He's going to go for like 200 yards.
Yeah.
I think the only way to beat the Chiefs is you have to blow them out right from the start. Because if it's close, they're going to find a way to beat you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the way Saquon runs the ball, too, I really think that that's going to just kill clock on
Right.
the one hand. And the other hand, it's all these explosive runs. I mean, we saw it against Washington. It was ugly early. Like, I really think that they have the opportunity to blow the Chiefs out as long as they get the ball first or get a big stop on the first couple drives. But it's still going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a lot better than the Super Bowl they had a few years ago. I just wish it was anybody but the Chiefs. And I really wish they would just go away for like a year or two.
Yeah, I used to feel that way about Michael Jordan because I wasn't a Bulls fan, and when he retired that one year, I was like, yes, all right, he's getting. Then he came back, and I said he's not going to be that good. And I think in his second game back, he went into Madison Square Garden and put up 50. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is insane.
He did it again.
But
Yeah.
Josh, where do the Bills go now? Like, I feel like you got to get over the hump somehow. It's kind of hard when you have pick 30. It's kind of hard to get like a super difference maker there. How do the Bills get to the Super Bowl next year?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. They have had some issues, first round and second round, and with their draft picks in a few recent years. I mean, notably Kyer Elam, he had a rough game against the Chiefs this past week, and he was a first round pick a few years ago. So the one saving grace for Brandon Beane especially is he hits on picks in the third and later round, like third round and later. Christian Benford was a 5th round pick, I believe. Matt Milano, 5th round pick. Khalil Shakir, 5th round pick. Like, all these guys hitting in the later rounds is great. I think this year they really need to either hit on those early rounds or utilize them in a trade. They need a pass rusher because Von Miller, as great as he was that first season, has not been the same since he retore his ACL. So they need a pass rusher, need a little bit more help on the defensive line, and they really need to add into their secondary. I mean, we all saw Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer leave, and everyone thought, oh, that's the end of the Bills' secondary. It wasn't. Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin stepped up and were great this year for the most part. But what we really miss is Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde from 3 years ago. You don't miss them from last season because they were in and out with injuries. They were a little bit slower, kind of showing their age. But what you need is that safety tandem you had 3-4 years ago when you were getting the most turnovers in the NFL, and they were the top defense in the NFL. Like, so they really need to just kind of beef up that defensive line and that secondary. I think the offense, for the most part, is pretty well set. They might want to draft a speedy wide receiver in maybe round 2. They do have 2 second-round picks. Maybe they could go take a big swing at T. Higgins in free agency, which
I got a
would
guy
be
for you.
awesome.
If you have any pull in the front office and with the draft team, LeJohntay Wester. Could you see Wester, Drew?
Oh, he's a great player.
Yeah,
but
he's
you might
at
not.
Colorado.
I don't think you have to spend a second-round pick on him though. But he's the stud slot receiver that's always open and an excellent punt returner too.
Yeah, but they have a great slot receiver right now, and I'm a
Shakir's
Coleman fan. Like,
Shakir's the slot
Coleman
receiver right now, and I mean Coleman, he's been all over the place, but like in terms of on the field, but he's been pretty good so far this rookie season. I want to see him take a step next year, though.
I think he will, man. I'm a Florida State fan, and I love him.
Nice.
Like, he was phenomenal for us.
Now you're gonna like this guy Junior because he's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
he's
sweet. So
hey,
thanks in advance for the 2 wins next year.
And I'm not
giving
AJ.
you all kind of love to be nice, dude. I don't wanna say what Bill stands for.
I'm just messing.
But one thing I want to do, definitely, as a Dolphins fan, man, I really want to come up there and party with Bills Mafia. Like,
dude,
that's a dream.
The tailgates are awesome. The new stadium's going to be incredible. I've got to see little bits of it here and there, and it's going to be an awesome experience at the new place. But one more year at the old one, I still call it the Ralph. It's Highmark Stadium, but I still call it the Ralph.
Josh, why no roof though? Why no roof?
Yeah. I personally don't care. I think it's fine to have the open roof. The way they designed it, actually, the roof, it's like a partial roof. If you want to actually see a pretty, accurate depiction of it, look up Tottenham Hotspur. They're a team in the Premier League.
I was going to say a European soccer stadium.
Yeah, they're basically it's basically modeled right after them. The Bills played in that stadium a couple years ago when they went to London, and all of the all the reporters got to go there and for the game and stuff, and they got to tour the stadium beforehand. And basically they were like, yeah, this is what the Bills stadium will roughly look like. So the roof there is a partial roof. That's what the new Bills stadium is going to be. So about 65% of the fans are going to be covered. The field will not be in like the front, I don't know, like 20-ish rows around the stadium, won't be. But the way they designed it, the wind won't even come into the stadium anymore. Sure, you'll get the snow, you'll get the rain on the field, but the wind is going to be completely cut out. They did all sorts of crazy designs to make sure that the wind kind of gets pulled up over the stadium and never goes in. Wow. And then they also added in this new technology for a heated field where the heated air, like the field can basically sense when it gets too cold, and it'll blow hot air up through the grass and melt the snow. We saw earlier this year with the Browns game when they played in the Snow Bowl against the Steelers, the guys where they were stepping, the snow was melting, but everywhere around it was not. The Browns have a heated field, but it's only when you push the snow into the field. With the new Bills stadium, it's going to basically be like a hairdryer and blow up out of the grass and melt that snow. So there's a lot of cool things that are small little bits and pieces, but it's just going to make the experience that much better and honestly make the game better as well. But you know what? I'm perfectly okay with no roof. Like I said, Buffalo born and raised. Cold doesn't bother me none. I was out at the Ravens game. It wasn't even that cold. I had 2-3 layers on and I was sweating. I was feeling good.
That way you'll never have to watch the Mac Jones Patriots throw 3 passes and win the games again. Because the Bills would have killed them. They killed them the next 2 games.
Famously known as the wind game here in Buffalo. Yeah. It was a rough night.
So I got a couple of questions for you, related but not related. First of all, when you have these big snowstorms and there's a game, like the 49ers game, when the 49ers came to town, and you have to show up with a shovel and shovel the stadium out, does that pay for your ticket, or do you still have to buy the ticket?
I've actually never done that, so I'm not really sure how it works. So I don't want to speak too much on that because I don't really know how. I know they give you hot meals and hot drinks and stuff like coffee, hot chocolate, soup, whatever. But everyone that goes has a fantastic time. There's guys out there with their shirts off, sliding down the snow tubes, trying to push the snow down out of the stadium. It looks like a great time. next year I might do it just to say I did it because, it's like the last year at Highmark Stadium and whatever. But I don't really know how the ticket situation works with that. I think they actually get paid a little bit, but I'm not too sure.
I liked. So I'm a Niners fan, but it just
Okay.
wasn't our season. Everybody was hurt. But that game, I think it was a Sunday night or a Monday night game. That game was
Sunday night, I think.
Sunday night. But it made me nostalgic because I grew up in Jersey, and we get bad weather, we got snow, and we don't get that where I'm in now. I'm in Florida, but I was like, it made me feel like I wanted to be there for that one night, watching them play in the snow, slipping and sliding. I mean, that was the game where McCafferty had just come back and then went back out for the rest of the season. But it looked like so much fun.
Yeah,
And
no, that I wasn't at that one, unfortunately. I was home, nice and warm, and cozied up watching the game. But just seeing that play from Josh Allen and Amari Cooper in the snow it was so electric. I mean, there's nothing like a snowfall in Buffalo, but there's nothing like football during a snowfall in Buffalo. I mean, as much as we all complain about it and hate going out and snow blowing and shoveling and plowing and whatever, we all love watching football in the snow. It's something that everyone enjoys, and tailgating in the snow is just as fun. So it's such a great time.
And what are your goals or what are your aspirations? I mean, obviously you grew up there and now you got into the business there. Are you hoping to stay there? Are you hoping to move on at some point? And because we had a guy on Monday night, a Philly guy, he's the Eagles guy, so we spoke to him. And Eagles fan, Eagles. And then through conversation, where are you from? He said, I'm from New York. I said, well, how did you become an Eagles fan? He goes, well, because I'm a journalist and this is where I am, so I'm an Eagles fan. And I'm like, that's not real.
Yeah, I mean, this is home for me. Like I love living here. There's only a couple places I'd move to, but I guess goals wise, it would be to stay here. It would be to make a career of this thing here. And I think I hope I can do it. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but yeah, it's fun. I got into it, partially for my love of the Bills and everything, but more so I'm a huge Sabres fan. And if you guys know anything about hockey, Rick Jeanneret was the Sabres play-by-play man for basically their entire existence. And he's the guy that really got me into wanting to work in the sports field. And just if you're ever bored and you want to get excited about something you don't know anything about, watch Rick Jeanneret highlight reels. You could know nothing about the Buffalo Sabres and that man will get you to stand up and cheer because he was, in my opinion, the best sportscaster of all time. He had some of the most electric goal calls ever. And, like I said, he's a big reason why I got into this business. And, now I'm here and I'm looking to hopefully continue to make things go and make my mark and see where it takes me.
You want to go on TV or do you want to do radio? What's your preference?
I mean, just doing this video stream here tonight, I was getting a little nervous. There's a reason I'm in radio. It's cameras. It makes me a little nervous. So I don't know if TV is exactly for me. But hey, I mean, if an opportunity presents itself, I don't know if I'd pass it up. But I do like radio more than that. It's just the old school vibe of. I remember as a kid listening to WGR. Listening to Sabres games, Bills games, all that stuff, and it's just that. Old school feeling is just, it's so, interesting to me. And I love being a part of it.
I predate you, but in the late 70s, I was a little kid. And I remember driving around New York City with my dad. And it was a night the Yankees weren't playing. And there was this guy named Art Rush Jr. Sports Talk. There was no sports talk radio at that point. There was just one guy talking sports.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with radio. I mean, I would rather listen to a football game than watch it. I'd rather listen to a baseball game than watch it. There's something about radio that just fascinates me. I like people telling the story and painting the picture for me in my head. And somebody who's really, really, really good at it, I could sit there forever. I enjoy it.
Just the way that people can describe things, like, again, like I said, with like Rick Jeanneret, I don't mean to just keep going back to him, but or John Murphy with the Bills. like the way they can describe a picture and paint the picture in your head, it's so impressive to me. And yeah, I tried it a little bit in college. I did some, play-by-play stuff for my college teams, but it never really like, I couldn't get there all the way, but like just you've only when you do that is when you truly understand how well those guys can paint pictures in your head and really make you see what's happening just by listening. And it's so impressive to me.
It is so cool. Hey, so where can we follow you? Because I tried to find you on Twitter before the show and I couldn't. What's your Twitter handle?
So actually, I pinned it in my name here. It's at Schmitty47, 1 T, no D. I spell my name a little bit different than everyone that spells Schmidt. So that's me on Twitter. You can find my stuff. I have some articles and stuff up on WGR. If you just search WGR 550 Josh Schmidt, my page will come up. And like I said, I fill in host, every once in a while, 10 to 12 on WGR. You can find that on the Odyssey app and things like that. But yeah, I on Twitter, I tweet out, funny memes and occasionally some sports stuff as well.
Awesome. I'm going to hit you up tonight. Look, I appreciate you coming on. I like you. Anytime, if there's ever anything we can do or you want to come back, we would love to have you. The second, no pre-interview. We never spoke before right now, but sometimes you don't know what you're getting into and you get, a stiff guy in a suit but you came in right there with the Bills flag behind you and just
gotta believe.
Yeah.
It's spelled wrong.
Yeah, he's ready to roll, man. We appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you so much. We're fans now. We'll follow, and we'd love to have you back again in the future.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's been a blast. And like I said, we're always welcoming members of the Mafia, even Dolphins fans. If you want to convert, it's not too late.
I'll hit you up when I come up. Maybe
For
I'll come
sure,
up this
yeah.
year for the game.
You guys got to hit up some wing spots. We got to go out and get some authentic wings with blue cheese, not ranch.
Absolutely. Buffalo
That's the
style.
debate.
We're gonna take a quick break, guys. We'll be back. There's a lot more coming up tonight. We got Tea Time with Chef Tom. We got Looch on ice. We got Richard Skinner from Local 12 News in Cincinnati coming on. So everybody sit tight, and we'll be back shortly. Okay.
Take care, Josh.
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. You're on a different road. I'm in the Milky Way. You want me down on Earth, but I am up in space. You're so damn hard to please. We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s chick. I love it. I love it. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car
I love it too. That was a great spot with Josh. I mean, he was fantastic. You guys like him?
Absolutely.
He was great.
Even though he was a Bills fan, Junior, and you're such the Dolphin glutton for punishment.
I'm at a stage in my life where I'm embracing everyone. It's all about love. Like when I was younger, I wouldn't even want to talk to a Bills fan. All this, and maybe I'd pee on
So
the sign outside
now
of
you know how
Foxborough.
I feel when I'm around you. Like I don't even want to talk to you. You know what I mean?
But that's
But,
Bills
yeah.
fans though. They are good people.
I
Yeah.
like Bills fans. man.
It's
I like the
friendly
Buffalo area,
rivalry.
too.
It's way better than
Yeah.
like Patriots fans.
Yeah, well, we're gonna pivot because we've got Richard Skinner coming on now. Now this is sort of up your alley, Junior, because you're not a Bengals fan.
Nope.
But you're a huge Cincinnati Red. You're like the Cincinnati Reds fan, the only one that I know down here in South Florida.
The only one representing South Florida.
You've been a diehard. So we've got some questions for Mr. Skinner here. Richard, welcome to the Bleacher Brothers show. How are you? Oh, I'm getting no sound from you, sir. Are you muted on your side? We'll get that sound handled here.
There we go. Yes, I
momentarily.
was. I'm a stupid idiot. I'm an idiot. So I'm an idiot Cincinnati guy, Junior. So that's me. I want to know this: how are you a Reds fan and not a Bengals fan? That's insane to me.
Well, I'm from South Florida, but when I first started watching baseball, it was the time of the Big Red Machine,
All right.
and I fell in love with Barry Larkin, Chris Sabo, Rob Dibble, the whole team. And Barry Larkin was my favorite player.
No.
growing up.
That was not the Big Red Machine. The
That
Big
was
Red
not the
Machine
Big
was
Red
in the
Machine.
70s.
That was not the Big Red Machine.
That
That
was
was a
Pete
good
Rose,
group.
Johnny Bench, Tony
No,
Perez.
well, whatever. You know what I meant, Richard. Come on.
I got you.
Come on, AJ.
That was Lou Piniella. That was the Nasty Boys, right? Was that
Nasty
That's
Boys,
correct.
Nasty
Rob
Boys.
Myers? Yeah.
Rob-
uh-huh.
You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Very well done. Rob Dibble, Randy Myers, and Norm Charlton were the Nasty Boys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Randy Myers was cut out to be a Philly. He should have went wherever Lenny Dykstra went and John Kruk and Dalton. That's what Randy Myers.
I don't know if anybody's with Lenny Dykstra. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, that guy is a crook. So there's that.
we know Lenny well. We've had him on multiple times.
He's great, but he's a crook.
It's a we can say this here. It's a total shit show when you have Lenny Dykstra in town. And we had him in town, and we literally put him kind of like that movie Beverly Hills Cop, where at the end they followed Eddie Murphy to the city lines to make sure he was gone. We took Lenny to the airport and made sure he was on the plane, and the plane left the runway.
You didn't put the banana up the tailpipe, though, did you?
No, because I wanted that plane out of here. So no, definitely did not. But
Good
that's
call.
good movie knowledge. You must be around the same age, I'm guessing. So,
I think we are.
So there was a question before you came on that the guys asked. Were the Bengals the best team on paper before the season started this year? And then things just kind of didn't work out the way they were supposed to?
That is a great question. I think Baltimore was the best team to me, AFC wise. We'll talk about Philly here in a little bit. They were the best team AFC wise on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. The Bengals were close, and they played them close. They lost by a field goal in overtime. Part of it was a bad snap and a bad hold by Ryan Rico, who was a rookie holder, and Evan McPherson missed it just because it was a bad hold. And then they played them in in Baltimore, and they had a 2-point conversion try. And for whatever reason, they tried to hit Tanner Hudson. Do you guys even know who Tanner Hudson is? No offense to anybody. He tried to hit a 4-string tight end on a 2-point conversion while Jamar Chase is on the other side of the field. That was the craziest thing I've ever watched in my lifetime. So they lost to them by 4 combined points, but I thought Baltimore was just superb. They were great all year. They were great the 2 times they played the Bengals. They outplayed the Bengals both times. But yeah, no, I think they're the best team in theory that didn't make the playoffs, but they didn't make the playoffs, and that's on them.
They came close. That game against Denver, the next to last week, that was an epic game. I did not want that game to end. That was back and forth. And
So many tough losses this year. I don't think anybody had that many tough losses. Close.
No,
losses.
Junior, to your point, every loss they had other than Philly, and that's what we'll get into in a little bit with the Super Bowl, every loss with Philly was a 1-score game. Every loss, not 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. Every loss. They lost 8 games, 7 of them by 1 scores, and that's That's deflating. And they, to their credit, they hung around it, but they still lost 7 of their 8 games by 1 score, and you can't do that.
So my question then now is would you rather get blown out and know you're done in the first quarter, or get your heart broken in the fourth?
No, I think most Bengals fans would say the former, because you know you're in the game, you know you're good enough, and then that makes them even madder because they have a chance. You're like, hey, you're in every game. What does it take to win games? And some of it is they've changed coaches. They've changed a bunch of coaches here in the last couple of weeks. Brought in Al Golden to be the defensive coordinator in place of Lou Anarumo. I think that's the thing that you go, they're this. What can they do to be that? I don't know if the coaching changes are what's going to take them over the top, but that's what it is. And that's the disappointing part, because I think you get blown out, you just realize we stink, we suck,
Right,
we're not
right.
very good. But when you lose close games, it's all right, what is this? What is this that takes you over the top? And I'm not sure they ever knew what that was this year.
Speaking of Al Golden and Lou Anarumo, I saw a lot of stuff online because you got to pay at least 2 of the big 3 with Chase, Burrow, Higgins. Is Anarumo kind of a scapegoat on that staff where they couldn't keep their good defensive players, really?
No, that's a great. I've said that, but as you guys know, excuse me, this is a scapegoat league, right? I mean, when a GM fails, he's the first to go. Well, they don't have a GM in this organization. They have Duke Tobin, who is the director of player personnel. It's not a GM position, so he's kind of insulated. He shouldn't be insulated, but he is. And then it comes down to the head coach. Well, the head coach has done some good things. I mean, he's taken him to a Super Bowl. He's taken him to an AFC Championship game. And so he can't be scapegoated. So then the next step is, all right, who's the next scapegoat? Well, the defense stunk, and it's Lou Anarumo. And Lou and Zach Taylor were very tight, but I think Zach understood, listen, this is a scapegoat league, man. It trickles downhill. And so you have to go. And then the linebackers coach went, the defensive line coach went, the offensive line coach went. And that's this league in a nutshell, where right or wrong, it trickles down to scapegoat circumstances, and that's where we're at with this. And so the Bengals had to make those changes, and now Zach Taylor has to hope in a big way, because now the crosshairs are on him, right? Of, okay, I changed the coordinator, I changed the offensive line coach, I changed the defensive line coach, I changed the linebacker coach. Now it's on me, and he better get this right, and Al Golden better be the right hire, and we'll see if he is.
But if you were the owner, would you give them, because with so many different schemes coming in, new
Sure.
coachings, would you give them a year to get it together, or would you expect results year one?
I think as results year one, right or wrong. I'm not sure it's fair, to your
Right.
point. I'm not sure it's fair, but I think it is that point. You can't have Joe Burrow as your quarterback and not make the playoffs for 3 straight years. It's been 2 straight. A
Agreed.
third straight would be disastrous. Now, again, there can be catastrophic, like Joe Burrow gets hurt in week 2 with a season-ending injury. Okay, that part you got to forgive. But barring that, there's no way that this team can't make the playoffs and everybody above coordinator level survives. And so I think that's where we're at with this thing. And I think Zach understands that. I think that's why he made the moves he had to make. Again, he and Lou Anarumo are really tight. They're tight. And he had to make the change of firing him. And that's not easy. That wasn't easy for him. But he did it because he knows my job's on the line now too.
Right.
Could the words Burrowhead Stadium be the cause of all of this? Because nothing has seemed to have really gone your way since those words were uttered.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That was Mike Hilton, and I love Mike. Mike's one of my favorite players I've ever covered. He was a former Steeler. He came in here. He gave this team a lot of toughness. He's one of those locker room guys that, as a reporter, when a loss happens, and you know how a guy this is, you go up to a bunch of guys, and a bunch of them don't want to talk, and Mike always wants to talk. Not in a bad way. He just likes to talk. And you have to have those guys. And I love Mike to death. But when Mike uttered those words, in my mind, I went, oh, that wasn't good, man. That's not going to work out. This is going to be bad. And, I mean, listen, Kansas City is Kansas City. They are the weirdest team I've ever watched, because it used to be this high-flying, crazy offense. And now it's this game manager, Patrick Mahomes, with a great defense, and that's how they win, and that's how they keep winning. And last year, 2 years ago, you don't want to tease them with that. Just don't tease them with that. And they did, and that wasn't what cost them. There was a bad penalty at the end of the game. It was a close game, but it didn't help.
You hear the common theme there with these Chiefs?
What's that?
Bad penalty.
Bad
Yeah.
penalty.
Bad
That's
penalty.
that's what I'm hearing
That's the
over
thing.
and over and over again, except from the Chiefs. That's what I'm hearing. So on paper, Richard, on paper, Philly looks like that. This is a mismatch, but I know what I've seen with my eyes, and I will not bet against Patrick Mahomes. I think the only way to beat the Chiefs, period, let alone the Super Bowl, is you have to annihilate them, and you have to score 21 points in the first quarter and hold them to 0 or 3. Because if it's a close game, he's
They're
going
gonna
to
win.
he's going to find a way to win.
No doubt. That's a great AJ. It's a great call. I mean, that to me, the two teams eyeball test wise, and it was different parts of the season for the Bengals. They played the Chiefs in week 2. It was a bad penalty on Dejon Anthony, a rookie 7th round pick safety, who he committed a pass interference. It was a weird pass interference because he tried to reach over the top on a 4th and 16 play. Earlier in the game, that probably isn't called, but it was pass interference. So I'm not here to tell you that it wasn't. And Kansas City kicks a game-winning field goal in the last play with Harrison Butker. And when they played Philly, it was a different part of their season where their defense was a train wreck, an absolute train wreck. They had lost Dax Hill to injury. They're trying to figure out corners. Cam Taylor-Britt was terrible for a while. And it was a 17-17 game with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the Bengals ran 10 offensive plays the rest of that game. 10. Because Philly ran it. They were effective with it. They turned the Bengals over twice with a fumble and interception. Philly, eyeball test wise, if you gave me eyeball test wise, if I just had to go team A, team B, eyeball test, Philly is a touchdown better. But to your point, all Kansas City does is win. So how do you pick against them when all they do is win?
And so if and everyone that we've talked to lately, and we talked to an ex-chief great 2 nights ago who said, we asked, what's the key? What is the one piece? And he said, Sandy Reed.
Yeah.
And Spagnuolo. So if they can stop Saquon, Philly's kind of toast.
That defense is so legit, though. I mean, I think the biggest difference, too, you could talk Saquon. No one talks about how Vic Fangio is so much better than the last few guys they've had at defensive coordinator. I mean, that's the guy right now.
I think he's great, Drew. I really admire what he's done over his career. The Bengals played them in 21 when they went to the Super Bowl, and it was a death fight for the Bengals to win 15-12. They won with a guy who's just a little afterthought that forced a fumble, and the Bengals got it deep in their territory and scored. But he's great. But to the point of what you said, AJ, you said if they can stop Saquon. And I get it. Kansas City's defense is great. Chris Jones is just a stupid train wrecker, game wrecker guy. But and it feels like every game in this playoffs, you're like, okay, he's not going to do what he just did in the last game, right? He's not going to do what he did in the last game, right? And every game he does what he does in the last game. And so if you had to put a gun to my head, or even if you don't, I'd pick Philly. I think they're a better team.
So you pick Philly to win the game?
I do. You give me 2.5 or 1.5 or whatever it is, I'm running to the bank, and I'll be stupid because then I'll be broke. But because Kansas City's probably going to win the game because we're all stupid, right? But
if it's close, Kansas City's winning.
Right, correct. And that's just what it is. I'll be happy with myself to go good with this bet, and then I'm going to hate myself for that bet. But yes, to your point, Philly's a better team in my opinion. Just eyeball test watching both of them at different parts of the season. Understand that. It was totally different parts of the season. Game 2, Game 9. Game 9, they were a train wreck. Game 2, they were still fresh. They didn't have T. Higgins. The Bengals didn't have T. Higgins that game, and that's a big difference, right? I mean, he's a huge difference maker, but they didn't have him, and they still had the lead late and couldn't hold it because Kansas City finds a way, and that's frustrating for people here in Cincinnati. It's frustrating probably for the nation because nobody likes a dynasty unless you're rooting for the dynasty, but the dynasty is really good.
I think back, we were talking about this with our last guest from Buffalo, is that, and he's a bit younger, but back in the mid 90s, the Knicks could have won an NBA title. The Pistons could have won another one or two. Houston could have probably won another one. Utah could have, but no one could get past Michael. And when I look at Patrick Mahomes, I see Michael and Gretzky and Jeter and every great that I've ever seen kind of rolled into one, and he just finds a way, and it
He
drives me
does.
nuts because I watched that quarterbacks documentary last year, and I don't know, did you see that on Netflix?
Oh,
It was,
for sure. Absolutely. It was great.
and I came away not liking Patrick Mahomes. I really liked Kirk Cousins, but I felt like Mahomes, what I got is he's all about himself. Every big play be beating his own chest and, pointing at himself. And I really liked Kirk Cousins, and then I'm a Niners fan. So last year's Super Bowl, I was so confident that we were just going to crush Kansas City because they had no receivers and, and we gave the ball back to Mahomes with just enough time left. And you can't do that.
No, and that's the last two Bengals losses to them. In the 2022 AFC Championship game, the Bengals gave them the ball back when they had a chance to get a first down, probably two, but at least a first down. Two, game's over. One's close to game over. They didn't. They had to punt the ball back. Drew Chrisman, who was the punter then, punted it right down the middle of the field, 60 yards, and God love him for 60 yards, but it was terrible because it was a line drive down the middle. And here came the punt return. It was a 30-yard punt return, and it put him in a perfect position to go win the game. They got aided by a penalty on the sideline. The call was right, even though everybody hates the fact Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs get every call known to mankind. Joseph Osai clearly shoved Pat out of bounds like 3 steps beyond the white line, and they go kick game-winning field goal. This year, 4th and 16. As I mentioned, Dejon Anthony, 7th-round rookie. He throws a pass. He's just literally throwing it up for grabs. He knows game's over. I just got to throw the ball. He throws it. Dejon Anthony commits a pass interference. It was a dicey call, but I'll give you 90% the right call. And so, to your point, don't let them hang around. Don't let them have a chance to make that play, but they always do. And there's a part of me, I get your point. There's a part of me that admires that. It's hard not to admire that because that makes them what they are.
Yeah, I look, I'm not a Chiefs hater. I'm not a Chiefs fan. But I know what my eyeballs show me, and I can't go against the guy. With Junior being such a big Reds fan, the question that we had is Cincinnati ready for spring training?
Kind of, sort of. They've made a couple of moves in the last couple of days. Austin Hayes, they got from as a free agent. He was a Baltimore Oriole. He was an All-Star 2 years ago. He had some issues last year physically. They signed Wade Miley. That's not a big push over the top. They did get Travis Rogers today from San Francisco in a deal. They needed some bullpen help. Junior, I don't think they're there, but I would tell you this. If Christian Encarnacion Strand does what I think he can do, and I think he can do it, I think he's a really good player, and Matt McClain comes back healthy, and Ellie De La Cruz takes whatever the next step is because he's already at a ridiculous level, it's an 87-win team. Is that enough to be a division winner, Junior? Is that enough?
I don't know. I mean, I hope so.
It's enough. It's enough to be a wild card team.
It's enough to be fun.
Yeah, it's enough to be fun. It's enough to be rooting in September.
That's exactly where I was going to go. It's kind of like that thing. Do you want to get blown out, or do you want to be into the last game? I want to be in it. So that'd be exciting.
No, I'm with you. I mean, for everybody who goes, oh, if you get in the playoffs, you're going to stink, or for a team that makes the NCAA tournament, well, it doesn't matter. You can be a 13 seed. Give me a 13 seed. Let's go. Let me have a chance. That's all I want is a chance.
That's it.
For SMU getting in, like they got killed by Penn State, but I mean that must have been the greatest year of those SMU students' lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Richard, I asked Josh, the Buffalo guy, before regarding where do you go now if you're the Bengals organization. Last year, they kind of are in the same draft position, right, at 17, 18. They drafted Amarius Mims. How did that work out for them in hindsight? And then where do you think they go now if they want to be a true contender next year?
Great question. Amarius Mims, where he worked out great. They brought in Trent Brown from the Patriots. It was more of a let's make sure we let the kid ease his way in. If it doesn't work out, we have a veteran. And then Trent got hurt a couple games in, and Amarius played the rest of the year. He got hurt and didn't start a game or two, but I want to say he was great. He was really good as a rookie. So, I mean, there's a curve there, right? And he was really good as a rookie. And he's one of those guys you don't notice. And if you're an offensive lineman
It's a
that
great
nobody
thing.
notices, you're like, great, you're good, man. I didn't notice you. Notice them some, but not enough to be bad. Then the draft portion of the program is, I think it's totally, and this is going to sound so cliche, is it's best player available. They need corner help. They need safety help. They need guard help. They need defensive tackle help. They need edge help. And depending on what they do in the free agent process of Jamar Chase, which I believe they will sign, but it's going to be a rough negotiation. T. Higgins, which is 50-50 if they sign him. They have to get one of the two. If they don't get both of those two, they have to go wide receiver early enough to go, this guy's going to be a difference. They drafted Jermaine Burton last year in the third round. He was an absolute, utter, unmitigated disaster. And so they've not drafted well at that position group, and they have some other needs. But it is best player available, and I don't mean that to be a cop-out because they really have a bunch of needs to where that's going to go.
Fair enough. Is Trent Brown and the Marius Mims the biggest offensive tackle group in the NFL? I mean, that's massive.
It's funny. So you can't see this as I'm sitting down. I'm 5'8", so I'm not a big man by any stretch. Those dudes are 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", and when you go up to interview them, and you're doing this with your recorder, and like, holy cow, it's a big stretch. Those dudes are huge. Believe it or not, I coach high school basketball in Northern Kentucky, where I live, and I would love to have those three dudes be my front line because I'm not sure we would ever lose. I don't even know if they can play basketball. They might not even be able to play at all. I just go, you guys are the biggest dudes and the strongest dudes. Just go kick somebody's ass and we'll win games and we'll be fine. And I wish I had those three guys.
And I wanted to ask you a basketball question real fast
Sure.
So being in Cincinnati, there's no basketball team right there. Who is the? Is it Cleveland? Is that the team that you?
No, AJ, it's a huge college basketball area. We have the University of Cincinnati, Xavier University, Ohio State's not too far up the road. Indiana's a 20-minute drive away from, hell, for a lot of people, 5-minute drive away. They're the State University of Indiana and Kentucky. Like I said, I live in Northern Kentucky. I'm literally 5 minutes away from Cincinnati in Northern Kentucky. I'm a graduate of the University of Kentucky, so that's a huge one. We don't cover Louisville, but Louisville's big. Dayton's big. It's a huge college basketball area. So from a standpoint of NBA, we do get on cable locally, on Bally's or whatever it is nowadays. FanDuel, I guess it is, not Bally's anymore. Bally's went bankrupt. On FanDuel, we do get Cavs games, so we do probably watch those games. But it is a huge, huge college basketball area.
So the NBA is sort of, I don't want to say relevant, but NBA is second seat.
No question.
Compared
Yeah.
to NCAA.
No question.
Got it.
Yeah, and you probably have. I'm not in Indiana a lot. I have friends that live in Indiana. They're big Pacers fans, and Indianapolis is only an hour and a half away from where I live.
Okay.
And so people probably on the west side, the far west side of Cincinnati, is probably an hour and 5 minutes away. They could be Pacers fans for all I know. I grew up a Pacers fan when they were in the ABA. That's how old I am. So I'm a Pacers fan, but I get the fact that this is just a huge college basketball area.
I think I saw something. It's like Louisville is the biggest market without a professional sports team.
And they
That
used to
sounds
have
right.
an ABA team, Drew.
Wow. Yeah, didn't know that. If I'm not mistaken, you covered a little Ohio State too, right?
Yeah, a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. They're enough away, but yeah,
How about that season?
incredible.
Absolute incredible season. Any crazy experience on your
No,
end or
no, but it's so funny because the guy I do a podcast with every week, he is way more in tune with more social media than I am. I'm too old to be in tune. I'm in tune enough, but I wish I was more in tune. But anyway, when they lost to Michigan, it was the whole wave of Ryan Day sucks. Ryan Day can't coach. Ryan Day should be fired. And the next podcast we did, I said, I get that because there's sometimes somebody is your daddy, and Michigan's been his daddy, and it is what it is. But I said, they're good enough to win this whole thing. Will that wash this all away? And it did wash it away. I didn't think it was going to, and maybe it doesn't the next time around when they play Michigan, but it washed it all away. And I think that was a huge thing for Ryan Day to basically just, the Michigan loss stinks. The Ohio State fans hate losing. They hate losing to Michigan. Hate it. They hate it probably more than they liked winning the national championship. But they won the national championship, and how do you argue with that? You can't.
Samantha Paris wants to know if you like Skyline
Oh.
chili. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh,
You
you
don't
guys
know what
don't-
it is?
I know
You
what
guys-
it is. I've had
You
it.
got to know what it is.
All right, hang on. So Drew, so you got Junior, you and Drew know what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Oh my word, it's the best. You don't know, AJ? You don't know?
Don't know what
AJ.
Skyline
Alright,
chili is.
So let me explain it. It's spaghetti noodles. It's a really watery chili, for lack of a better term. It is a watery chili with cheese and or beans and onions. You can do a 3-way, 4-way, or 5-way. The 3-way is just cheese on top. It is, again, I grew up here, so I'm probably going to be biased. It's delicious. And if you ever have a few pops in you, it's utterly delicious because it will soak up your stomach to the point where you're like, I feel really good the next day.
Is that it right there?
That's it. That might be, I think I see onions in that. I think.
Yes.
So that's a 4-way, and there could be beans in there, and that makes it a 5-way. Here's the other thing, AJ. They also have conies, which are literally small hot dogs. You can do it with the chili's part of it. You can do it with onions and or mustard, which is the way I would suggest it. 4 is probably enough. 5 is probably hit the spot. 6 or 7 is way too much, and you've had too much to drink. But it's pretty good in my opinion. Again, we all love our own local flavor, right? We all love it.
We do.
AJ, I can't believe you didn't know that.
I have no.
You make
I
fun of
haven't-
me for being young. I'll make fun of you for being
It's
uncultured
the one
right now.
place that the people around there say you got to go to.
Drew,
Okay,
Drew,
I-
where did you grow up, and what was your favorite food?
New Jersey and
Pizza.
It's got to be pizza, yeah,
Sure,
100%.
absolutely.
Forget
Absolutely.
about it, right?
I lived in Peekskill, New York, for a couple of years
Okay.
when I was younger, and New York style pizza is still the best to me.
I was up in northern New Jersey, Sopranoville, pretty much, right there, a county over. So I mean, an Italian family. So
There you go.
pizza
All good.
all the time.
I'm noting you. I'm noting that.
I wanted to ask you, Richard, before we let you go. So, how long have you been in Cincinnati? How long have you been in the business?
Yep.
And did you grow up in this area, or
I did. You talk about fortunate. I grew up I lived in Cincinnati for a handful of years. My mom and dad worked for the airlines. I moved to Peekskill, New York for 2 years, moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma for 2 years, moved back to Northern Kentucky when my dad got a job back with American Airlines in Cincinnati, and at age 12, and I've been here ever since. I went to the University of Kentucky. I was really fortunate. I got a job at a small daily newspaper out of college in Maysville, Kentucky, which is the home of Darren Feldhouse, and believe it or not, 15 minutes from where George Clooney grew up in Augusta, Kentucky.
wow.
So everybody knows George Clooney. So he's down that way. And then got back to Cincinnati in 1991, and I've been in either the newspaper business. I did a radio talk show for 15 years. Been in TV and website stuff for another 15 years. I feel really fortunate. I'm an old man at this point in my career, but it's been a good run.
Well, it's been fantastic having you. It's a. Do you know Chris, the producer?
No, he texted me today, and he didn't have to send me the whole resume he sent me. I love doing these things. I do. I enjoy it. And you guys have been great because sometimes you do these things, you're like, oh boy, this is not going to work out so well. But you guys have been awesome, and so I enjoy doing these when I get a chance to do them.
When you have a good guest, it makes it so much easier to do.
You're the
And,
man, Richard.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this is fit. Now, do you cover the Reds? Will you be covering the Reds during the
Not as
baseball?
much as the Bengals. I'm mostly a Bengals daily beat guy,
Okay.
but I cover the cover the Reds enough to be relevant, for lack of a better term.
So you'll come back if the Reds are worth
For
talking
sure.
about, and none of us want to talk to Junior. You'll come back and spend some time with him.
When Junior's insufferable, when they're 25-11, and Elliot Cruz is on a pace for a 50-50 season, I'll be happy to jump in.
Oh yeah, I'll call you way before then.
Awesome.
Sure you will.
Can where can people follow you? I know that you said that you're not very social media friendly, but I know I did find you on
I
social
do.
media.
I do. Yeah, at local 12 skinny on X. For sure, and that's probably the easiest way to do it. And hit me up there.
Awesome. We appreciate your time. We're locking you in on Philly. I may send you an email and just say I told you so afterwards. Don't go against Patty Mahomes, but we loved having you on, man. You were fantastic. Thank you
AJ,
so much.
AJ, I'm gonna bet this up to 3.5 is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm betting that damn thing up to 3.5.
Smart.
You know what? 3.5 is.
Alt line
You're
it.
probably safe right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm probably giving some juice up, but I'm going to do it.
Have a and you know what else I like in this game that nobody else likes? I like the over in this game too.
I do too. I'm with you.
49.
I think that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But not if Saquon's running that ball.
Even if Saquon is running the ball, then they got to play.
so?
If the Chiefs have to play catch up. This
running
is
for
a
6.
55-point game. That's
Correct.
what I think.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So we appreciate it, Richard. Thank you
You guys,
so
thanks
much.
very much. Appreciate
Take
it.
care, Richard.
Coming
Take
up,
care.
Looch on Ice. We'll be back right after these, whatever it is.
No matter what you think you pull, you'll find it's not enough. No matter who you think you know, you won't get through. It's a given LA law. Someone's faster on the draw. No matter where you hide, I'm coming after you. Yep. No matter how the race is run, it always ends the same. Another room without a view awaits downtown. You can shake me for a while, live it up in style. No matter what you do, I'm going to take you down. Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowd alive. Break down, take down, you're busted. Let down your guard, honey. Just about the time you're thinking it's alright. Break down, take down, you're busted. This is a town where everyone is reaching for the top. This is a place where second best will never do. It's okay to want you shine, but once you step across that line, no matter where you hide, I'm coming after you. Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowd alive. Break down, take down, you're busted. Shake down, break down, honey. Just about the time you're thinking it's alright. Break down, take down, you're busted. Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowded line. Break down, take down, you busted. Shake down, break down, hurry. Just about the time you think it's alright. Break down, take down, you busted. Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowded line. Break down, take down, you're busted. Let down your guard, honey. Just about the time you're thinking it's alright. Break down, take down, oh, you're busted. Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowded line. Break down, take down, you're busted. Let down your guard, honey. Just about the time.
Tipping is out of control these days.
Swayman, a tough one for a goaltender.
Everywhere you look, tip, tip, tip.
Tip and goal. Under the arm of Sarles.
Sometimes all they did was stand there.
This goes off the left leg. That's pretty much how you're going to beat Markstrom.
And it's always when you're trying to save.
Tip in front.
No chance for Ottinger.
What?
I love tipping. Tipping is out of control these days.
Swayman, a tough one for a goaltender.
Everywhere.
Commercial almost played twice. Sorry about that. How you doing, buddy? Tip,
All
tip,
right.
tip, tip.
What's going
That is
on,
it.
man?
Everybody wants a tip.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
What'd you think of our friend Richard?
Good stuff, man.
Dynamite, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt.
We're gonna start pulling hockey people in now. And the first guest that we had on tonight, you know what? We could bring him back for a Looch on ice. Yeah, even though you guys are not on screen, I'll turn your mics on.
Yeah, absolutely. Sabres fan.
Yeah, so he's a huge Sabres fan. He said he preferred the Sabres over the Bills.
Oh,
So, and he was fantastic because when we brought him in, he looked like one of us. He didn't look all professional. He was very professional, like Richard, but he came in with his big Bills, you got to believe, flag behind him, and felt like I was interviewing Logan Lupo again, who, came in with that. Yes, the punter. Logan Lupo was a great.
He was the best player on that team.
He was a great player on that team. Well, this year maybe he was. The year before that it was obviously LeJonte.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan's a great player, man, and he's a great guy.
did he talk about the Buffalo Sabres at all?
He did. He went not deep because none of us could handle that like you can. But
Right.
yeah, he did talk Sabres some, and it was really something.
Yeah, Buffalo Sabres last night had 2 hat tricks in the same game.
Really? So that's hold on. Let me get that. That's
Yeah.
that's like 5.5 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Tage Thompson and JJ Peterka both got hat tricks in that game. So that was pretty good, man.
Did they win the game?
They won. I do have the score here somewhere. I don't know where the hell I wrote it down, but I wrote it down somewhere. That was.
Oh my goodness, Looch.
Yeah,
Looch,
I wasn't expecting you to go right to that, but
let me tell you, Looch. All you gotta do is pull up BleacherBrothers.com. Yes.
7-2.
7-2.
Like after that second hat trick, I don't know. Did they run out of hats to throw on the ice? I'm not sure.
They might have. Drew, I'm gonna pop you on here, Drew. All right, but you know what? That's why you need to be like Panthers fans. They never run out of rats.
Yeah, that is
right.
true.
There you go.
Why is it with the rats? Is it because Panthers eat rats and it's a rat trick down here?
I'm not a Panthers fan. I wouldn't know. In fact, Junior's you probably have a better idea than me.
Why they throw rats?
Yeah. I mean, you're the South Florida guy.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, interesting.
I'll ask my sister. She'll know.
Good.
She's a Yankees fan.
It's good, though. I feel like the South Florida teams need as much, what's the word? They need as many traditions as possible because they're just so lifeless in so many sports.
Or maybe
but not in hockey. They're not lifeless in hockey.
No.
Maybe there was a player on the other team was like a snitch, and they just at one game threw rats, and then
I like it.
decided
There
to
you
stick
go.
with
It's
it.
cool.
It's a Jersey thing. Probably Van Beesbrook probably started it when he came down here, right?
Could be Brad Marchand from the Boston
Steven,
Bruins.
we need the answer, Steven.
Could be
Yeah,
Brad.
Steven, why do they
call
throw
him-
rats? Okay, Luch, I'm sorry.
They call Brad Marchand the rat on the Boston Bruins. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
Nah,
That's a good
95-96, Scott Mellenby spotted a rat running through the team's locker room. Mellenby then took his stick and slapped the rat, sending it flying into a wall and killing it.
Well, that's
Pretty cool.
Nice.
Does Peter know about this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I made that up.
All right, Peter will be protesting the next
That is
game.
not true, Mellenby. I'm sorry, dude.
Damn it. Well, they made their mascot a rat now too. But so let's start at the top. Ranger report. What's going on, buddy? It looks like we're back on track.
Yeah, well, they lost the last 2 games.
Oh, all
so,
right. They're
was a little rough.
up, down.
Yeah, it's a little rough. They won 2 and then they lost 2. So
It's like my relationship with Junior. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean,
that was going to be part of my
we always
bad.
end up together, though.
Yeah, that was going to be part of my bad for tonight. Was the Rangers losing the last 2? Pretty bad too.
Okay. Who
So-
did they lose to?
They lost to Colorado and the Carolina Hurricane. So, Carolina, that's a great team right there. So, The score was 5-4. They lost in third period. The Rangers, who the hell scored? Arturi Lukkinen scored. What happened was, first period, it was 2-0 Colorado. Rangers come back, tie at 2-2. Colorado comes back, scores another two. It was like they were scoring 2 goals. The Rangers come back, score 2 goals. And then it ended up being 5-4, 15 seconds left in the third period. Arturi Lekkinen scores, and the Rangers lose that game. So that was on Sunday. And then Tuesday night, last night, Rangers got blown out by the Carolina Hurricane, who actually made a big trade this past week, or last week. I think it was Friday. They picked up Rantanen from Colorado and Taylor Hall from Chicago. So they made some big trades. Carolina Hurricanes went all in. They're all in on a playoff run. They want to make a big run for the Stanley Cup or playoffs.
Is there a trade deadline in hockey where you can only trade up to a certain point?
Yeah, it's sometime in March.
Okay, so they're making moves early then.
Yeah.
Unlike baseball, everybody waits. They know they have issues, but they wait all the way until the trade deadline to make moves.
Right. The Rantanen trade from Colorado is more like a rental. I think his contract is going to be up, so at the end of the season, if they sign him, if not, he'll go somewhere else, or somebody else will pick him up.
They're all in for this year.
They are all in. Colorado. I keep saying Colorado. Carolina scares me a little bit now with this team that they have.
Well, they were good last year too.
Yeah.
Are they a step up now?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. With Rantanen's top 10 player in the NHL.
So let me tell you a little something about Looch, right? That I figured out here over the last couple of years. Now, Looch is a diehard Ranger fan since I've known him, and we've known each other since like the early teenage years.
BC.
But yes, from BC. Yes, I've known Looch since 13 BC. All right. But I also noticed that the minute that the Rangers are out, Looch can flip to the Panthers or flip to the Hurricanes or flip to somebody else so fast and be very invested. I guess
trying to love the sport more than just focusing on the Rangers. I have a soft spot for the Columbus Blue Jackets right now, man. I want them to win because of the whole Gaudreau thing, like they have a great team. They're looking to make a push too for the playoffs. I mean, the whole division right now, this whole division is crazy. That was going to be part of my good with the Islanders too. And they're another team in the division that's taken, a step forward.
I do that because I do have a question. I got it pulled up here, but I'll come back to it. So stick with where you're at. Let me pull the standings up here while you're going through what you're going through. So I can take a look at, so I can fact check you, because Facebook won't fact check anybody anymore. But I'm going to continue to fact check people.
Yeah, check that Metropolitan Division in the East. I mean, the Islanders just they're looking to make a playoff push too now. They're 8. What are they? 8-2-0 in their last 10, and they got five wins in a row. My man, Tony DeAngelo, New Jersey guy who was playing in the KHL, St. Petersburg, came back. Some kind of an issue he had. I think it was a family issue, he said. So he came back to the United States. He's a defenseman. Played for the Hurricanes, played for the Rangers, Flyers. So came back to the States just recently with a family issue, and the Islanders ended up picking him up. This could have been in the works. I don't know. Maybe the Islanders saw how good he was playing out in the KHL in Russia and picked him up. He's the guy that I met at the I don't know if I sent Steven a picture. This is when I met. Yeah, that's Tony DeAngelo there. That was at Monmouth Racetrack over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, he wasn't signed, so he ended up going to the KHL for a little bit, see where he could. He had some issues in the locker room with some Rangers players. Comes back to the States after going to the KHL, and he signs with the Islanders. So, and he's playing good. I think he's got 2 games under his belt so far with the Islanders. He signed a 1-year deal with the Islanders. He'll be making $775, but it'll be prorated for the rest of the season. That's the minimum in the NHL, $775,000. So that'll be prorated with the remaining.
We got about 2.5 months left in the regular season, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
whatever it works out to be, he's going to make a decent buck.
All right, well,
And he'll
I'm
see
ready. I'm ready to make. I am ready to make my prediction right now. The Stanley Cup champion already.
Oh.
So
okay.
immediately last week, and Drew, I think you saw this, right? I went immediately to Twitter after the Chiefs won, and I said, I'm not going to dance around this for weeks and make everybody wait, because my record was something like
15-1.
No, it was like 20-2 for the entire playoffs. And you were incorrect, Drew. You sent me 4-0, but you weren't. You lost.
No. I knew I lost the Commander. The Commanders, the only one that got it was Toby. We all thought the Lions would kill him.
Yeah, no, but this weekend I went 4-0 because the games where you guys were, I won both games against the spread, and then I had both overs where you guys were like, no, these games are not going over.
Yeah, but I didn't take. I went 2-0 too.
Yeah, I looked at the record. I
telling
found
you,
a loss. We'll go back. We'll go back and dissect it later. But I'm going to give you the Stanley Cup champions right now on January 29th. The Washington Capitals. Do you know why? Because Donald Trump has made hockey great again. And since he's in Washington, the Capitals are going to be Stanley Cup champions.
There you go. That might be a good one. You got Alex Ovechkin going for Gretzky's record.
Did Trump not solve global warming on his second day in office when Pensacola, Florida had 9 inches of snow?
Yeah, he's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's done. If I were the Rangers, if I was everybody else, I would just pack up and start an early summer.
Sure.
Where are the Florida Panthers at, buddy?
Florida Panthers are number 2 in the Atlantic.
Oh yeah, I see them there. 6.
Yeah.
All right, so they're a point behind Toronto, but that's
5-4-1.
understandable. You know what I mean?
They cooled down a little bit. But
They got time.
That Metropolitan Division is one to keep an eye on. Between the Hurricanes, you got the Blue Jackets, Rangers. I'm back and forth with the Rangers. Sometimes they're playing good, sometimes they're playing bad. Obviously, that fourth line of Rangers, Rempe, Edstrom, and Carrick, are starting to produce a little bit. We need the Rangers to get that first and second line to start getting some goals, and Shesterkin to be on his game. The last 2 games, the Rangers, Shesterkin had some rough games. 4-0 against Hurricanes, and then 5-4 against Colorado. So Shesterkin needs to be on his game.
I would say, Looch, that you can't win them all, but in the Rangers' case, you got to win some of them.
Listen,
you know what I mean? You got to win once in a while.
Yeah, $11 million man there in goal. You gotta produce.
Yeah.
Just signed that big contract. So, but they got Quick as a backup. Rangers got back-to-back this coming weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So we will get probably a Shesterkin game and a Jonathan Quick game. They'll flip-flop the 2 players. I'm not sure. Excuse me, who they're gonna play. They have Boston and Golden and Vegas Saturday and Sunday. So they'll be at home against the Golden Knights. Actually away against Boston and home against the Golden Knights.
All right, let me ask you this. You said you're ugly as the Rangers. What was your good? Is your good the FAU Hockey Club? Because did you see what they did this weekend? I think it was 18-2 and then 15-2.
Like I said, we don't lose to Lynn. But AJ, I told you it on air. We need to find this clip. Take FAU minus 12.5, and then they won 15-2.
Yeah, me and Joe Q were saying that earlier. But they score so fast. So they score a goal, we video it, and then as I'm putting it up, posting it to social, and I say FAU up 1-0. By the time they post, the score's 3-0. They literally score that fast. But this weekend, they are going up to, where are they going? Antioch, Tennessee, and they're playing the top team in the division. So I think that now we're really going to see what they're made of because
Right.
they've been beaten up on a
On
bunch of
Lynn.
teams like the Rangers, like Lynn, like the Rangers.
Little nitty competition.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see what happens, and I was on the fence. Do I go to Tennessee and cover this? But we ended up, me and Flick are going over to cover Chase's big WBC title fight.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
so-
and I texted you last night with what's her name was fighting last night, the boxer that you guys
Nick,
you guys
Nick, Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields, yeah. I was surprised to see her. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was just about to turn the TV off. I think I just finished watching a Ranger game, and I see Clarissa Shields. I'm like, oh, let me watch this for a little bit. Took a picture of the screen and sent it to you. So that was pretty neat to see her on there.
What is the good and what is the bad?
We got the Islanders were the good. With
Okay.
picking up, being 8-2-0, and they're on a 5-game winning streak. The bad was the Rangers, losing the last 2 games, giving up 9 goals they gave up in 2 games. So that's pretty rough on Shesterkin. So I'm wondering what they're going to do here, if they're going to put Quick in the goal on Saturday and maybe go with Shesterkin on Sunday against Vegas. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we got the ugly. I think we have a video. If Steven.
Junior's here. I can put him right on the screen. We don't need a video of him. He's here.
Yeah. The ugly was Steven's not around. Looks like Steven took off. We had.
I got it. Let me see. There's something here. I saw it here somewhere.
Mark Stone.
I just can't.
The Mark Stone hit on Miro Heiskanen of the.
It's not here, buddy.
The Dallas Stars. Yeah.
It was here. I saw a video here, but Steven ran out of Skittles, so he ran down to the Quickie Mart.
Yeah. So what happened?
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So tell it to us like you were a radio announcer, Looch.
Oh,
Explain
sure.
It to us
Yeah.
in words. All right.
Yeah. The radio announcer that I am.
Yeah.
Now, Miro Heiskanen, who's a defenseman for the Dallas Stars. We had Mark Stone from the Vegas Golden Knights. Just a weird kind of hit. I guess he was ended up hitting Heiskanen and went into his leg and kind of bent his leg back, and Heiskanen had to be helped off the ice. It was just a nasty hit. I don't think Mark Stone was intentional. It was intentional, on Heiskanen, but now the Dallas Stars are without a decent player there with a pretty bad knee injury. So that was kind of my part of my ugly. The video was pretty ugly. We don't seem to have that.
There was something down there, and it's not there now. And of course, he's off in La La Land somewhere. He's went to look for his BattleBot beanie, probably, or something. I'm not sure.
It's all good. It's all good. He decided to jump out on us at the wrong time, but it's whatever. It's all good.
What are we looking forward to this weekend in hockey? Is there a standout matchup or a game? Because there's no football this weekend, so I got to find out if there's a stream for Chase's fight. If there is, I'll get it out to everybody. But and then the FAU, they can always be found on Owls TV. Is that what it's called, Drew? Do you know? I think it's Owls
no, I
TV on
believe
YouTube.
so, yeah.
So you can catch the FAU games.
I'm looking forward to the back-to-backs with the Rangers, Vegas and Boston. Two tough games for the Rangers. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I may do a viewing party on Saturday at 3:30. They got a Rangers viewing party, so maybe I'll go out there. I'll shoot some video.
Where's this at?
This is in Tom's River, and it'll be at it'll be a small gathering. There's a woman that runs a lot of these viewing parties. She's a sign. Yeah, she's a signing agent. So and she does a lot of group tickets to games and stuff. She's got a game out there right now with the Rangers and the Devils.
We got to get you on the mat the Kicking It Back with Matt program. Matt has joined the soccer clubs, I guess, or fan clubs, and Matt's ready to start broadcasting live from MJ's like once a month.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do a little MJ's broadcasting too. Jump on after him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It's a pretty cool
it's a
bar.
big soccer crowd at a big soccer crowd over there at MJ's, I guess, on Saturday mornings.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, it gets a little bit loud there sometimes. I know they have bands at nighttime. Well, you've been there before,
When
no?
we were there. I was there
Yes.
with you. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
well, it's not a bad
Uh,
place, but it gets a little bit loud at times. They got the bands, the live bands, and kind of do without that. But I like to chat and talk to people when I'm there, at least, instead of just banging my head against the wall.
People are overrated, buddy. The less people I have to talk to, the better. Like after tonight, I won't talk to anybody for 3 days. And that's fine. I got an 11-year-old kid. She don't want to talk to me anyway. So I'm like, all right, that's fine with me.
Right.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. I looked on the website. I was checking for the power ranking. I wasn't sure if that was an updated one or if that was last week's power ranking. But
No.
I kind of went through my own power ranking. I made up my own real quick, just in case that wasn't, because it looked familiar.
okay, go ahead, bang it out real quick, and then we
Yeah,
got to get over to
okay.
Chef Tom with
Okay.
Tea Time for Golf. But yes, the power rankings are done. They were put out on Instagram and I
Right.
believe Twitter, but they haven't been updated on the site.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Going with Vegas, number one. Vegas has just got a powerhouse team. Everybody's just firing on all cylinders over there. They got Barbashev back. You got Eichel over there. You got even Hurdle's doing great, who I got in my fantasy league, who's just killing it for me right now. So I'm loving Vegas. They're just every year they just seem to put out a great team with what they got there. Always have two goalies, two really good goalies. Winnipeg Jets number 2, Carolina Hurricane. With Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall being traded to that team, they're looking like a really solid team, Carolina Hurricanes. So, and then I added, I got Florida Panthers in there with number 4. I go with your team, number 5, Washington Capitals, obviously with Ovechkin there. They got 2 solid goalies there with Lindgren as their backup. Dallas Stars are always a good team. Edmonton Oilers, number 7. And I'm adding the Islanders. I'm going to add the Islanders into the power rankings right now because they're playing real good. 8-2-0, like I said, in their last 10. 5 wins in their last 5 games. So taking the Devils out from the last power ranking because
they dropped way down on ours too. I
Yeah.
just tried to pull it up, but I couldn't.
they lost their goalie Markstrom, and Nico Hischier, one of their top goal scorers, is out. He got injured, I think, with a lower body injury, so they're in trouble. Their number 1 goalie's out. Jake Allen's going to be, their backup goalie's jumping in there, and he may play good for a little bit, but it's going to be a tough stretch for the Devils coming up. So, look for them to struggle. Hopefully, there's going to be some movement in that division, the Metropolitan Division.
And you got
Yeah.
the Devils at 9. Is that where you have them?
I get the Devils at. I don't even have the Devils in there.
Oh, okay.
I bumped them out because the Islanders, and I got the Islanders, Columbus, and the Rangers. Rangers at number 10.
Okay.
Columbus,
Well,
I like.
that sounds a little bit biased, but okay. I'll let you go with it.
I snuck them in at 10. I leave them in there. I think they're going to do a little bit better than the Devils now that the Devils are struggling. And Columbus, I have at number 9. Fantilli, I think he's a Michigan guy. Came from Michigan. Hobie Baker Award winner. He's playing phenomenal right now with Sean Monahan being out of the lineup, who's injured. Once Sean Monahan comes back, I think he's coming back in March after the Four Nations tournament. once they get Sean Monahan back, this team's going to be a team to look out for. They got the Johnny Gaudreau effect that I call it going right now, and they're just hopefully they're going to be a Cinderella team. I want to see Columbus do really good.
All right. Well, we'll check back and we'll have the power rankings, ours and yours next week. We can put them up side by side and see who ranks the power rankings better.
Gotcha.
We're gonna take a real fast break, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna have tea time with Tom for bettors. We're gonna go over Pebble Beach, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. So.
Awesome.
Looch, great job, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
We'll be back right after this.
All right, guys.
Drop a load on 'em. OPP, how can I explain it? I take it frame by frame it. To have y'all all jumping, shouting, saying it. O is for other, P is for people scratch a temple. The last P, well, that's not that simple.
So while we're enjoying Naughty by Nature, let me remind everybody that Underdog Fantasy is the bomb. We've been all over Underdog Fantasy for a little while now. All right, and we are daily putting out. I put out a monster one today. It's up on Twitter. Let me grab it real fast. During this commercial break, I'm just bringing you a live commercial. Now we can. Steven's gone again already. He was back and now he's gone already. All right, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It's a five pick. They're not called parlays, but it's a 5-pick play. And I got Sabonis over 20.5 points tonight. Karl Anthony Towns over 24.5 tonight. But you don't say over on fantasy, you say higher. It's higher or lower when you do these things. Did you know that, Junior? You're learning something here tonight, aren't you? All right, cool. Are you guys not? You guys are not mic'd up. All right. I got Porzingis over higher than 19.5. I got Bam Adebayo, or whatever I say his name, lower than 16.5. Donovan Mitchell higher than 25.5. And then if you do a flex, which means you don't have to win them all, you can win like
I like the flexes.
The flex, you win 8.74 times your money. On the standard, you win 17.48 times your money. So I think I did this for 100, and it's like $2,900 when it comes out. New users, if you don't have an Underdog account, you can use the link in the bio of this video, the description, or you can go to our X account. And this thing was posted a little bit before 7 o'clock. It's there. New users get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. And you get a free pick daily. Like today, Steph Curry over 0.5 point. All right? Use the link right here. Get our exclusive Underdog offers. We love Underdog. All right. Let me find Tom. And you're right, Junior? Somebody wake him up. He's all right. He's still in cruise mode over there. And there he is. Tom, is that my soup that you're eating, buddy? I wanted the soup, pal, but we were on. We had really. I mean, obviously Looch was great, but before Looch, we had two really great sportscasters, journalists.
Yeah, no worries.
Legit,
you know, man,
legit people, not like you.
When you're done, just shoot by. I'll bring it out.
Yeah. Well, I'll trade you.
warm.
I'll trade you a $4,000 water system for a $3 cup of soup. Does that work?
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, cool. I got one in my truck. So Pebble Beach is coming up this week. But what the hell's so special about Pebble Beach other than it's on the beach?
2025 AT&T Pebble Beach.
Yeah,
it's Pro-Am Celebrity Tournament. A handful of celebrities that I know of, handful that I don't.
Yeah, I turned it down. It was on the list also this week. It was FAU in Tennessee being the celebrity in the Pebble Beach, or going to see Chase fight, and we owe it to Chase to be out there.
Well, also too, you got to remember a lot of these celebrities that are showing up are not really celebrities. They just got deep pockets. So and the money goes towards charities. So they throw out a bunch of big bucks, and they get to play with the likes of like Aaron Rodgers, what's his name, Fitzgerald from what was
From the
Larry
Cardinals?
Fitzgerald,
Yeah. Mhm.
your favorite quarterback, Alex Smith. I'm sorry, Steve Young. We got Condoleezza Rice. I mean, just the list goes
Condoleezza
on.
Rice.
Yeah, she's
How
been
is she-
playing in. Yeah, she's been playing in that Celebrity Pro-Am since she was Secretary of State. She's been playing for a very long time, but
You guys missed Steven's sound drop there. That's
yeah. I'm sorry, Steven. What was that? You don't have to hit it.
no soup for you.
No
The
soup
soup
for
not
you.
soup.
I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I should say it, but I remember the Dave Chappelle skit when they talked about.
yeah.
Sounds
I'm
like
not
a
going to say
Mexican
it.
dish to me.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came into my mind when I saw the name. I was like, oh, I'm not going to say it. Kana it's rice. But anyway, but believe it or not, the AT&T is actually a pretty big tournament. It's a $20 million purse. Where's the guy
Is this a
right
bigger
here?
tournament than that golf dumpster trash, whatever it is? What is that tournament called? The trash tournament?
Oh yeah, way bigger. That one is only a $9 million purse.
What the hell? Oh, the
And this
waste
one here,
management.
which I
That's what it's
pulled up
called.
somewhere. Waste management.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pebble Beach is in the top 4. Okay, the PGA Championship is 25 million. Okay, then there's a couple other in between. Then it goes number 4 is this tournament. Okay, 20 million. The waste management way down the line. That's like 9 million for the
Okay.
total purse. Now,
Only
but
nine.
the cool thing about this tournament is the format. Okay, the first 2 days they're up in Carmel, California, and Monterey. All right,
Okay.
they have 2 courses that they play. They play
Now,
Pebble Beach.
This is
okay?
right on the ocean, right? Pebble Beach.
Right. Well, not both courses. The Pebble Beach is on the ocean, and then they have Spyglass. Okay, and Spyglass is in Monterey. Pebble Beach is in Carmel.
That was the best
I've
Bond
played
movie with Daniel Craig. Was that Spyglass one?
right.
Yeah, with Daniel
Yeah,
Craig.
and I got to tell you something.
Yeah, tell us.
Me personally, I've played both courses. What they do is they have the way the format is the first 2 days when the celebrities are playing. Okay,
Mhm.
they have half of the field. Now it's only an 80 professional player field. Typically, it's 120 plus, and then it whittles down into the weekend when they make the cuts.
Is
Well,
this
because-
the same tournament that Happy Gilmore and Bob Barker got in a fight with? That was a celebrity tournament.
Yeah, not really.
Okay,
This is
all
a
right.
tournament. You see Bill Murray, he's doing his shenanigans.
Uh-huh.
You get Bill Belichick. A lot of celebrities show up. But the format is half of the field plays Pebble Beach,
Mhm.
and half of the field plays Spyglass the first 2 days. And then when they get rid of all the shitty celebrities, the amateurs,
Mhm.
Saturday and Sunday, they're playing at Pebble Beach. And that's when the real tournament begins. And if I'm not mistaken, I think because it's an 80-player field, there's no cut for this tournament, meaning, if you're in last place,
You're still in.
you're still making money, which is good.
So did they start over from zero if the celebrities are out?
No,
or
no. The professionals are playing for their score.
Okay.
Okay, they're getting their score, and they're playing along with the amateurs. And their amateur scores don't count towards their tournament score, but it counts towards the celebrity and the professional score at the end of the first 2 days. After the first 2 days, celebrities go bye-bye. They're done.
Okay. All right.
They're done. Some of them stick around. Most of them don't. They're just there for the first 2 days. And I've never been to this tournament, but I know many people have been. The first 2 days of this tournament is the most 2 crowded days during the tournament. It's not like a regular tournament where Saturday and Sunday are the biggest days. At AT&T, the celebrities bring a draw out.
Yeah,
You know,
I can't imagine. It's really hard, and I've enjoyed playing golf before, but I can't imagine like going to a. Is that something you would do? Would
I
you
love
go
it.
to?
I
You'd
go.
like to go
Yeah.
and watch?
Yeah. I take my
oh,
kids.
golf
Like, they
tournaments
love
are
it.
awesome.
Yep. Yep.
They're awesome. When I lived in San Diego, I went to I had VIP passes with Harris for the U.S. Open when Tiger Woods won against Jeff. Who did he win against again? The Italian, not he's the Italian dude, but he's not from Italy. Rocco Mediate. And I got to tell you, I mean,
Not Rocco Bruno.
no, not Rocco Bruno.
Okay.
But the thing is, and unfortunately, and this was back when I was younger, wasn't fat, I had hair, and I was in shape.
Yeah, I saw your baby picture.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So
But the
basically,
thing
the
is,
opposite of what we got going on now.
Torrey Pines,
Yeah.
you know, I walked that whole course, and I've played that course before and walked it playing. That is a brutal course to walk because all the hills. Pebble Beach, same thing. Like these players are like ripped apart by the end of the tournament.
Well, now, will they let you take your electric bike on the
Nah,
course
no.
if you wanna do that or no?
No, doesn't happen. But
And
when I
Jeff
was,
is there with you, your brother.
yeah, he's here, Jeff.
All right, so Jeff just had a shoulder surgery, and how's he feeling?
Yeah, Jeff, how's your shoulder surgery? Stiff, bruising. Yeah, stiff and bruising. Oh, you should see his whole shoulder, man. It's like it's disgusting looking.
Now, is it true that when they scoped and they opened it up and they went in there, what they found is like a
Jeff, come over here.
Was it a tar buildup from too much secondhand smoke? Is that what built up in his shoulder that caused him to need the surgery, or what was it?
Did you hear the question? I don't smoke. He says, he said secondhand smoke from me. Yeah. Yeah, no secondhand smoke, tar removal.
Okay. All
No,
right,
he's covered.
all
He's
right.
covered. Yeah, he doesn't like it when I smoke around him. He's a pussy.
All right. Carry
Yeah.
on.
So, but I will tell you that if I was a pro, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously, you play one day Carmel, then the next day you play at Spyglass, and then you go back to Carmel for the last 2 days. Spyglass is a way more forgiving course than Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach is brutal. I mean, narrow fairways, everything slopes towards the ocean. And if you're an amateur like us, 90% of amateurs fade or slice the ball. So I would say bring a lot of golf balls with you because you're going to lose a lot of them on that course. Spyglass, so much different. It's such a great course. And I mean, if I was living in California, I would definitely make the trip up there. Matter of fact, at Pebble Beach, when my Uncle Sonny passed away, they my cousin, his sister, and my aunt went up to Pebble Beach to spread his ashes on the course. That was like one of his dying wishes.
Were you there also?
No, but I don't even think they got onto the course, did they? When they went up there to spread his ashes.
Are you allowed to smoke on the course? Because I picture you spreading ashes on every
I'll
course
tell
that
you right
play
now,
on.
there are a lot of players that smoke in professional golf and a lot of caddies too. You just don't see them unless you're John Daly.
So I have a question because I'm considering taking golf back up. You golf, Junior?
I try.
All right. And your wife, she's a registered nurse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bring her along because AJ.
Yeah,
might
I
need
would
it.
need to bring her along because I the last time I played golf, I left in an ambulance. So
Yeah, you were there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only guy I'm famous on at PGA National, the only guy
Yeah.
ever to leave in an ambulance from a golf
I think I
tournament.
got you topped with that though.
What happened? You got left? You left in handcuffs?
No, I'm the only person that got trauma hawked out of Dolphin Stadium.
You got trauma hawked out of Dolphin State?
Yeah.
You went to the Euro Cup that they just had there this past
Oh, it
year?
was a Monday night game. I don't know what happened.
Oh shit! Oh, you blacked out,
They
huh?
resuscitated me twice in the trauma.
No
hospital.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened? What'd you do? Like jump for one of the balls going through the field goal, and
I never
you
saw
were
the
like on
first
like
play.
the third level and thought you were the guy from the Jets game.
No, he drank 6 bottles of friggin' tequila before.
Oh
before
shit! Yeah,
kickoff.
that'll do it.
Never saw the first play.
How old were you?
This was in 2001, so about 20, 21.
Oh man, what a lightweight.
Yeah. No, but in my defense,
Did they land the helicopter in the stadium in the field, or did
Nah,
they
it
take
was
you out in the
just
parking
outside.
lot?
It was in the parking lot.
But you had to be life flighted out.
Yeah, like I said,
Oh my
they
God.
revived me twice.
Now I got to ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
Were you living at home?
No.
Oh, I was going to say because I was, and if I got home, or if my dad got that phone call, he was to let him die.
Oh, you want to know what my dad's response was?
What?
He said, "Call me back when the Dolphin game's over."
You know what his wife's response was? Just pull the plug. No more. 2 is enough. Don't bring him back
Holy
again.
crap, man!
Yeah,
God
no,
bless you.
she was actually at the game with me. It's
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Now, did she leave the game when you got helicoptered out, or did she stay till the end of the game?
So it just so happens that my cousin was at the game as well, but we weren't together.
Which cousin was this?
Pete.
Okay.
So she had to run around the stadium, found where he was at, and she got him, and he drove her to the hospital.
Pete
No
left
way.
the game?
Yeah, they left the game, and they got police escorted to the hospital. I said they were doing about 100 on the turnpike getting down.
No
to Jackson Memorial.
way.
Yep.
What hospital did they take you to?
Jackson
UM?
Memorial.
Jackson Memorial, yeah.
Mhm. Doctors
Wow.
took him in a room.
That's a serious hospital, Jackson Memorial. I know.
Yeah.
I know about
Oh, okay.
hospitals, unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a serious hospital, Jackson Memorial.
No, they pulled him in the room, and they said, I got a 50-50 shot. Is depend on me from there. And
So you had alcohol. You went way
Nah.
past alcohol
I
poisoning.
don't know what it was. It was just tired. I think I was just tired.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And alcohol had nothing
So-
to do with it. Okay.
So when I woke up 3 days later, something like that. Very first question I asked was,
Did-
"Did we win?"
Did
That is all I gave a shit
the
about.
Dolphins win?
Yeah, did we win?
How
Oh
many
my
Dolphin
God.
players came to visit you in the hospital while you were there?
I heard. I mean, I was in a coma, but I heard all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Was Zach Taylor beside you?
But I didn't know they got married. But Zach Thomas or
Or
Jason
Zach
Taylor?
Thomas or whoever it was. Yeah, whatever. Uh-huh.
Are you shitting me? Like they really?
No, they don't give a
No,
They
no,
don't
no,
care.
no,
They don't
no,
care. They
no.
just they get
Okay.
their check and they get the hell out of there.
Okay.
Unless you're Tyreek, then you get locked up on your way.
Yeah,
in,
I
your
mean,
way out,
yeah.
but-
Yeah, I was at that game with Flick when we walked.
I was there too.
Yeah, Drew was
Yeah.
there
Tom,
too.
Yeah,
A lot of Hawk Tua references there.
Yeah. Oh, Drew, you were with us. That's
Yeah,
right.
me and Toby were there.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was just brutally hot.
You
man.
left when the game got good.
Yeah, it was just too hot.
Yeah.
We were done.
But,
We were done.
But when it's hot like that, don't the cigarettes light themselves?
Yeah,
Just,
no, I
just
yeah,
put it in
just
your
go,
mouth and it's
I
lit.
just go down to the pavement.
Oh my
We're
goodness!
good to go.
All right, so
yeah, I
give-
got to quit smoking.
Give us a preview. Give us a winner. Give us we're
All right, so here's my picks. Okay,
we love rolling you into this show, but man, it's been a long ass day.
I can imagine. So anyway, it's only an 80 player field, which is good.
Got that?
There's no cut, which
Got
is
that.
good. Okay, so last year's winner was Hideki Matsuyama, and
Play for the
I'm picking him.
Yankees.
I'm picking him as my favorite again this year.
Who Hideki? What is it?
Hideki Matsuyama.
And what are his odds?
Okay.
Is that
Plus-
a he?
Plus, yeah, they're all he's.
Okay.
Okay, he's plus 2250.
Plus
All right, so
2250.
Right, so 22 and a half.
Hey, no
right.
joke. They gave a pick out here one time, and I played it. Bryson DeChambeau,
Yep.
and he wasn't that high, but he was high. He's like plus 800, plus 1,000, and it hit.
Really?
Yeah, that was the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
U.S. Open when he beat Rory McIlroy, and Rory McIlroy, like the little bee that he is, instead of hanging around, he got in his car and like skidded out of the parking lot. What an idiot!
That's the same guy who ran the people over and he got arrested, right? Roy
No, that
McIlroy?
was Scotty Scheffler.
Scheffler,
Yeah, when the guy got hit by the bus, I think
Golf
that
is
was
so violent, man.
yeah, right.
So who's the best celebrity golfer?
The best celebrity golfer. That's a good question. It's probably going to either be a baseball player or football player.
What about Steph
I would
Curry?
say now, as much as a lot of people hate this dude, I kind of hate him, but I kind of like him when he was with Green Bay. What's his name? Aaron Rodgers. He's like a +2 or a +3 handicap. he's definitely a gamer when it comes to golf. He's got great swing. Short game's pretty good. Now, if Tony Romo and the wet balls was playing, and I looked in the field, I didn't see him. Tony Romo's a scratch golfer, and he was either going to go professional golf or professional football. He should have chosen professional golf.
Couldn't have worked out any worse.
Yeah, but I like Tony Romo. He's a great golfer, Smalls is a good golfer, but I don't think he's in the tournament. We have, I would say, probably top celebrity, Larry Fitzgerald, who's a 7 handicap, and Aaron Rodgers. Where do they have Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers. I don't see him in the lineup here, but I know he's in here because they show the handicaps. Dan Rose, who I don't even know who the hell he is. He's a 4 handicap. He's probably some, bigwig executive CEO that paid his way into the tournament. I wonder what Steve Young is. Steve Young is a 13, so he's as good as a golfer as I am. Because I'm about a 13
I have no
or 14.
friggin' idea what these numbers mean. But
Okay, handicap is based off.
You don't have to explain it. I'm just
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm being funny. But the actual golf tournament that I'm looking forward to is the Nick Lowry Champions for the Homeless Golf Tournament. Let's give that a plug. It's February. No, it's Saturday, February 22nd.
Where's that at?
This is
Lake Worth Golf Course.
Phoenix, right?
It's in Phoenix. No, this was the. Bro, you're out of line, man.
Is that a legit tournament?
Yeah, Nick Lowry was our guest on Monday night.
Oh, I should know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick Lowry from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You were
Backtracking
thinking
now.
Mike Lowry from Bad Boys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Nick
Yeah.
Lowry Champions for the
Like you,
Homeless Golf
Steve.
Tournament. You can sponsor on the nicklowrygolf.com. They're raising money for a great cause. You can also call them at 512-585-9066.
Where are they playing that tournament? Does
Yeah,
it say?
it's somewhere Phoenix, Dobson Ranch Golf Course. Do you know where that's at?
No, it's probably like a resort golf course.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a resort golf course, but that's cool though.
Yeah, so
I
think
like
this is
these
a week
charity
after.
golf tournaments.
It's a week after the Waste Management, I think.
Oh, okay. So they're going to probably, pull a lot of celebrities from the Waste Management because a lot of celebrities go to that Waste Management too.
Play Action Reel.
And
Penguin
a lot of
AZ.
drunks too.
Drunken Dad.
Oh, dude, that tournament is nothing but drunks. I went to it before it started getting really big. I mean, we're talking like 20 years ago, and it was still insane. This was before they had the stadium, or like that stadium around 17 for the par 3, where everybody throws their beers at the players if they get a good shot. Yeah,
You can do that?
Dude, it's insane.
Oh, that's like a
One of the
hockey game.
reasons why Tiger Woods doesn't play that tournament is because of the shenanigans that go on there. But players like Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler.
The shenanigans that go on. Tiger Woods' whole life is a shenanigan.
Yeah, I know. But when it comes to golf, he's pretty serious. He's one of those players where he can hit an errant ball, which is very unusual for him to do, and it can hit somebody in the gallery, and he'll just keep walking right up the fairway. Whereas Phil Mickelson will walk over to the person and be like, "Hey, who'd I hit?" And then he'll pull his golf glove off, sign it, take his Rolex watch off, put it inside of the glove, and give it to the person that he whopped in the head.
Well, I'm looking at stats right now. Tiger Woods is a 13 handicap.
Yeah, okay.
It's 10 beers and 3 trees equals 13. I don't know. Not sure what that means, but anyway.
But I'll live. But the Waste Management is next week.
Okay.
That's coming up after
the Super Bowl. It's
right.
It's 2 weeks from now.
No, the Waste Management is the week of the Super Bowl. Weekend of the Super Bowl every year. It's a tradition. February 9th.
Oh, they play at the same
6th
time
or
the
9th,
Super
yep.
Bowl is going on?
Yep.
All right. So
it's the Super Bowl starts.
golf.
The Super Bowl starts after the tournament is over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Both.
And then the following week is going to be a good tournament. My son's trying to get tickets. It's the Genesis Invitational, which I believe they used to play in Pacific Palisades. That's where Tiger Woods got into the car accident in the Genesis SUV. and busted
Mhm.
up his legs. The Genesis Invitational, they're moving to Torrey Pines South in San Diego, which is it's great, another great course. And it's cool too when they do the U.S. Open in Torrey Pines, same format because they have two courses. One day you play one course, next day you play the other, and then the last 2 days you play the North course. It's going to be a good year this year in golf. Now, you were talking about this the other day when you and I were talking about that new thing that they're doing.
TGL.
Yeah, I haven't followed it yet, only because I'm a little pissed off at the PGA for going after the live golfers, but it is what it is. I think they'll come around, and I think they're trying to merge. Hopefully they do, because the live golf, every one of those tournaments is like a waste management tournament, but with a lot more money.
A lot more money, just a lot of drinks. Hey, hold on, Tom. Quick question, Drew. You're on top of college basketball right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, because one of our degenerate listeners, who's a good friend of ours, Stadium Food Girl, she's been texting me college stuff all day, and I've been telling her, look, I haven't had a chance to even think about college ball yet, but she's telling me that Maryland is the squad against the spread this year. Can you verify that for our listeners?
Well, let's see. Is this? Yeah, I mean, today they beat a really good Wisconsin team. I mean, they're 17. That's a great poll by her, because I've not heard a lot of Maryland basketball this year, but they're 17-5. And in the Big Ten, that's impressive.
This is Stadium Food Girl. I mean, she's in with every stadium. She lives in Vegas, so she lives right there in the gaming capital of the world.
Maybe they're our army for basketball now.
Yeah, Val may be coming on. Val will be coming on. I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but Val will be on. But go ahead, Tom. Continue if we can bring this plane in for a landing.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, all I want to say is there's a bunch of great tournaments coming up. The end of February, we got the Cognizant here in Palm Beach, and I'll get you the info for the media. You and I talked about that. Cognizant is not a big money tournament, but it used to get a really big draw when it was the Honda Classic, and Jack Nicklaus, who basically designed one of the courses, was involved in the Honda Classic. But now that he's no longer involved and it's a Cognizant, I know last year I spoke to a few people that went to the tournament. I had tickets. I just couldn't go because of work. But they said that the crowds were very limited at that tournament. But I like it when there's not a lot of big crowds. I've been to a lot of tournaments. When there's not a lot of people around, it's great because you can literally get right up. They always say what is it, behind the ropes, or what is that, Jeff? Or no, when you're on the golf course,
Looch, Joe Pesci wasn't a big anything. He's a very small guy, but Joe Pesci was a golfer.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yeah, my brother Jeff.
Joe Pesci's local.
He's got a lot of good Joe Pesci stories from Jersey. Joe Pesci used to come to his restaurant all the time when he back in the day when Jeff was in college.
Was Joe Pesci a funny guy?
Jeff was Joe Pesci. Yeah.
Did he make him laugh?
Did he make it laugh?
He would play liar's.
Talk louder.
We can hear him.
Oh, he can hear. They can hear you.
He'd play liar's poker with us after the bar closed, and we'd stay there till the sun was coming up. But he'd purposely lose. He'd lose $100, $200, because we were just like busboys and waiters.
He never stabbed anybody in the eye with a fork or anything.
He used to come in with Frank Vincent all the time. Both of them.
Right.
Yeah, Frank Vincent is an actor that Joe Pesci. What was it?
Pesci told De Niro when De Niro came to Pesci's house. Actually, he called Pesci, wanted him to be in Raging Bull, and he called Pesci up and he says, "This is Rob De Niro. I want you to be in a film." And Pesci didn't believe him, and he hung the phone up on him. This is a story he told us when we were in the restaurant, and he called back about 10 minutes later and said, "Don't hang up on me." And then Pesci used some swear words and said, "Get the hell off the phone. I'm at my mother's house. Don't bother me again." 45 minutes later, knock on the door. Who's at the door? It's Robert De Niro. And he says, "Look, I want you to be in a movie with me." Pesci was only doing B films at the time. So Pesci said, well, I promised a friend of mine if I ever made it big, and if I'm going to be in your movie, that's making it big, he's got to be in the movie with me. And he said, who? And he said, Frank Vincent. And he goes, we got to roll for him. He can be in the movie. And he goes, I told him also, if he ever gets in a movie with me, I get to kill him. He goes, we'll let you kill him. And Frank Vincent was the one who was picking on Jake LaMotta's wife. And LaMotta crushed his head in the door of the Lincoln, the suicide doors. And then they went in Goodfellas, and they killed him again in Goodfellas. Pesci killed him again.
Yeah, wasn't Frank Vincent, what's his name, in The Sopranos also?
Yeah. Yep.
Phil in The Sopranos. Yeah, he got his head run over by his own car.
The last season, they ran him over his head. Phil Leotardo or something like that?
Yeah, Phil Leotardo. That's it. Can we say Leotardo now that Trump's president? Are we allowed to say that again or no?
Yeah, I think that's off the table now.
All right.
Or back on the table. I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good.
So we're gonna do a Tea Time's gonna roll into the Bleacher Brothers show every week. Do a quick hit and go through who's who and what's what in the world of golf. All right.
Yep. Hey, real quick on the picks, just to finish up.
Yes, sir.
I got Hideki for the winner. And if you've watched my show before, you know I always do a couple of top 20s and a couple of top 5s. Keegan Bradley, if you're a golfer and you're a fan, you know who he is. He's getting up there in age, but he's actually been playing pretty good. I got him in my top 20. Brian Harmon, he's plus 1,200 for top 20. I think that's a good money bet right there. Brian Harmon is good. It's not a big field. First round leader, I'm picking Rory McIlroy. He's plus 400. And they're playing at Spyglass. And Spyglass plays to Rory McIlroy. He'll do very well there. Scotty Scheffler is going to be playing over at Pebble Beach. And then my last pick for top 5 is Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai won a tournament last year, but he was always in top 5 or top 10 or top 20 throughout the whole season. And I think he's going to have a pretty good showing. I'm picking him for top 5 plus 1,200. So those are my picks.
Awesome. Remember, why don't you put them out on Twitter and then we'll retweet them from Bleacher Brothers. All right.
Okay. Yeah, but everybody, if you're listening, shop your odds, man. Don't just go. We're limited down here in Florida in what we can do when it comes to golf. But if you're around the country, you got all these different other apps. You'll see so much variations in the odds.
We're not that limited anymore in Florida. We'll get into that in next week.
Okay,
we'll get into that next week. So next week, guys, this Bleacher Brothers shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Junior and I will be anchoring down Monday and Wednesday. And Robbie and Drew will be anchoring down Tuesday and Thursday. And it is our Super Bowl kickoff weekend. We didn't need to go to Radio Row. Radio Row is coming to us next week.
That's right, baby.
Ton of great guests coming on. We got to thank tonight Josh Schmidt, WGR-Buffalo, sports anchor, sports producer, talk show host. He sits in for them. Huge Bills fans. Never shoveled his own seat at the game, but he says he's going to this year coming up. And if you're in Buffalo and you run into Josh, you should probably have him shovel your seat too, just so that he gets that experience while he still can. We also got to thank Richard Skinner. I mean, we didn't know what to expect, and both of these guys were absolutely fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then you made a red connection right there. So
I'm excited about that, actually.
yeah, that is very cool. So thank you, Richard Skinner, for coming on. Looch on Ice, fantastic job. Stephen Luker, Drew, Junior, Tom. I'm not forgetting anybody tonight, am I? Jeff, yes. Our great producer now, Chris, who lined up guests tonight. We'll be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can catch replays of this show, Monday's show, and all the shows on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network app. Go to your Apple Store, your Google Play Store, and download the app, and pretty soon everything will be live on there. Until next time, adios, and in a few minutes, Joe Q coming up next, all right? Out of here.